Welcome here live from AMR Motorplex. We are live on our members-only premium subscription, Just Going Green, with your Micro Swifts here. Alessandro Truscio with a great start. Clean start, didn't lose anyone in turn number one. Benja Fernandez slots into second. And as they work their way through turn number 5 here, and out, over through 6, into 7 and 8, Ashton Woon slots into third. We'll watch the rest of the field work their way around turns 7 and 8 here for the opening lap of the Micro Swift main event. 18 laps in total as we continue to watch them head their way on through. Rob Howden joining me back in the booth here again. Of course, the voice of Supercarts USA. We'll watch them complete lap number 1, get our updated running order. Truscio ran away with it in the pre-final, but it's a vastly different racetrack what we got here for the main.
Yeah, no doubt about that. Fully dry racetrack. We're starting to get some rubber down in these corners. We're seeing them carry a lot more corner speed through, but out to a pretty good lead already. 7/10 of a second, Xander, for Alessandro Truscio on the parallel. And we talked about the graduation of drivers moving up levels, right? A lot of drivers from Micro have moved up into the mini category. This is going to allow some guys an opportunity to shine. Alessandro Truscio, your leader right now, strong in the opening circuit.
Yeah, very strong here and already pulling a little bit of a bigger gap by lap number 2. Benja Fernandez still trails him a little further back in the Trinity Karting Group Kart Republic, and you can see from that wide shot that gap almost to a second here on lap number 1. So good out of the gate on cold tires here is Alessandro Truscio over Fernandez and over Ashton Woon, and that's been our top 3 most of the day. We'll head down the backstretch once again, 2 laps complete this time. Battles a little bit further down the order, but nothing for your leading drivers. Truscio leads another one here as your top 3 come by. Oh my goodness! Big contact here. We just switched away, came back right back to it. That was for 4th and 5th. Daniel Lorente, Julian Rivera involved, and possibly Royce Vega and the Benix somehow trying to get around it. That could have been very, very bad.
Yeah, it was Lorente trying to make a move, I think, to the inside of Rivera, climbed up on top, and you can see the cart go up in the air. Both those drivers coming down hard and able to hold on. That's going to allow Truscio and Fernandez to pull away, as well as Ashton Woon. That was 4th, 5th, and 6th, making things super exciting here at start-finish.
Yeah, very, very exciting stuff here. Alessandro Truscio, though, nothing but a calm and collected race out front. We look back to 2nd and 3rd. Ashton Woon reeling in Benja Fernandez a little bit. Both drivers losing ground. And since that shakeup for 4th, it's given a nice and healthy gap to, I don't know if that's Royce Vega who's moved by or one other. We'll watch the parallel come around the final corner. It is the number 91 machine.
That's Rocco Simoni from Canada.
All the way back from 7th or 6th last time by, moves up into the 4th position, so he avoids all that carnage, gets gifted a P4 for the moment here, and he's got himself a nice little gap to work with as well, while the top 3 continue to separate. Truscio, your leader here, headed for turn number 5.
Yeah, Rocco Simoni, the number 91, actually now living in Tampa. Good run thus far, just turned his fast lap like everybody else has. Alessandro Truscio, though, up front right now. Good start for Truscio as he's looking to start off his 2021 season. They grab an opportunity to maybe go for a big race win here, championship as well. Good way to start it off with that first win in the books. We'll see if Truscio can get the job done. Still a lot of laps to go. We're just early in this one here. Again, Micro Swift brought to you by Trinity Karting Group. He's got a lead of about 1.8 seconds. We may see a fight, though, for second as Ashton Woon, who runs in 3rd right now. Last time by about a 10th quicker than Benja Fernandez. Their gap there between the 2 drivers, just 0.6 of a second. Driver off the racetrack here, right in the middle, a spin coming onto the front straightaway. Wow, that was the number 93 who made contact with the barriers coming out. Justin DeLucia in the 93, touching the barriers on the exit of turn number 12 and got backwards coming up on the straightaway. Everybody able to cleanly through. So good to see that. Maybe a little bit of a chaos averted there. 2.2 seconds the lead for Truscio out front. We'll watch this next group of drivers here. That's about 5th on back, I believe. I think that's going to be Lorente, Vega, Martinez, Rivera, Pettit, and Masha all in the fight there as well. Not too far back is Jackson Gibson. There's your leader, Truscio. Got that head ducked down. Here's that big gaggle of carts I talked about coming down the back straightaway. Right in there is Pettit. Royce Vega on the Bennick leading the way of that group in 8th spot in the number 33 rather. It's Travis Pettit on the solo cart, number 29, trekking down from the northeast. He runs in the 9th spot ahead of Maxwell Masha. Truscio strong in the position out front, though. Trying to do exactly what he did in that pre-final. That was get out front, get away, and just run those really strong laps. Rocco Simone actually went purple the last time by in the number 91, a 53.886 for Simone, running P4. Truchot, though, out by a 2.4 second lead. Out of turn number 12 once again. Look at that lead for Truchot, the Parolin USA driver. Great way to start the season. There's a battle for the second spot right now. P2 scrapping it out. Ashton Woon and Fernandez. I think Woon has made the move by. They'll work their way down to turn number 4. There's your leader. But indeed, Ashton Woon in the Nitro Kart has got into the second spot. Ashton Woon out of Scottsdale, Arizona, the West Coaster, coming over here to be part of the SuperKarts USA Winter Series. Yellow flag flying, start, finish, and incident off of the outside of turn number 1. There's that driver there off in turn 1. I believe that looks to me like the number 85 who was involved in that incident. Scrolling through the numbers here to find out who the 85 was. Again, that's the driver off over in turn number 1. We'll try to update you. Oh, that's Daniel Lorente. Lorente was running P6, and that kart's in the barriers on the outside at turn number 1. They've got that cleaned up. Good job by our crew to pick him up. There goes Simone to the inside. One more spot. Simone to the inside of Fernandez. Book it. Wow, Rocco Simone in the 91 driver on the move right now. He has gone into P3. Simone, the transplanted Canadian, now living in Florida, to third. Tremendous racing throughout the field here in this Micro Swift category. Picking up Rocco Simone right there. Battle further back. That's that 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th battle. So many good drivers in that fight as well. Through the inner loop of this racetrack, that's Pettit. Travis Pettit's worked his way up to 6th position, getting by Royce Vega. So that white and blue machine, the Solo Kart USA entry of Travis Pettit, started 11th. He's worked his way now up to 6th spot. There's Pettit there in the 29, back onto the front straightaway. Right behind him, Royce Vega, and then Cameron Marcia. Cameron Marcia in 8th. Troy Ferguson actually up there in the 43. I had said it was Royce Vega, was actually the 43 of Troy Ferguson. Started 17th, Ferguson, and he has got himself up into 7th. Great job here for Troy Ferguson. Truchot, though, in the 17, coming through the inner loop. This is just going everything aces for Truchot. 4 seconds now the leader for Truchot. Purple last time by a 53.842. Still not quite to the halfway point of our extended main events. Take an opportunity to say hello to those of you who are now premium subscribers for Kart Chaser, signing up to be part of their subscription service. Great to have you with us. My name's Rob Howden. The whole crew here at Kart Racer enjoying the day so far. Xander Clements, of course, and Caleb Smock have spent time with me here in the booth. And we are underway with main events. Alessandro Truchot for Parolin USA out as the leader. Halfway point last time by. In fact, the rest of the field getting the crossed halfway flags at start finish. 9 more laps to go for Truchot, 4.5 second lead. Ashton Woon in second, Rocco Simone in third. The gap there only about a half a second. Simone was quicker by 2 seconds, 2/10 of a second. Rocco Simone closing in now here on Ashton Woon, potentially for second. Simone on the Burrell Art for Motaz Sport. Simone. I'll pick that up to make sure that I'm right on the chassis there. No, actually, Simone's on a Parolin in the number 91. I had said the Burrell, but indeed on the Parolin for Simone. So we may see a Simone Parolin 1-2 as Simone just went purple, in fact. Good scrap here for second spot. There's Truchot, second behind him. That's that battle for second. Strong fight for P2. Truchot clean. Try to pick up that battle for P2. Woon and Simone lining things up. There it is, and Simone's through. The 91 of Simone has got by Woon. We pick it up just after the pass in turn number 5. Excellent job there for Rocco Simone, who has now gone into second. It's a Parolin USA 1-2. You can see that battle further back as they come out at turn number 11. Let's see if Woon can fire it back up. Thinking about going to the inside. No, he'll stay to the outside. Both drivers clean through turn 12. That's the fight for second. Rocco Simone, who started in fourth, settled in nicely to the position, has advanced his way forward now to second and gets a good run through turns 2 and 3. Opens up that gap a little bit. Wu not let him get away. Hey, behind them is Benja Fernandez as well in the Trinity Karting Group Kart Republic. He's not done either. Fernandez sees the fight in front of him, trying to dial things up. In fact, he was quicker than Wu by about 0.4 of a second. Last lap by, Fernandez faster than both Simone and Wu. So watch the scrap develop, but here out front again, Alessandro Truchot with 6 laps to go as he comes across the line, making it look easy here. His opportunity to really battle it out. Truchot real good through 2 and 3. Kart's just been absolutely perfect. He's been very consistent with his lap times. High 53s for Truchot, his best of 53.7. Last time by 53.983. So it's been really consistent for Truchot as the leader. This battle for second, epic though. There's Simone leading, Wounds right there. And I'm telling you, Benja Fernandez closing up as well. Just turned his fast lap of 53.828. Fernandez in the 4th position. Trying to close up. Last time by 0.2 quicker than Woon and Simone. We're going to have ourselves a 3-driver battle, I think, for the final 2 positions on the podium. Again, the first main event of this year's SuperKarts USA Winter Series here at AMR Homestead-Miami Motorplex, presented by MG Tires. There's the battle there. Look at Fernandez dialing things back in again. Picture in picture for you. We're watching that leader as well. A couple different shots for you. Truchot's lead, get a good look at it. It's long. He's got a solid advantage. 5.8 seconds last time by for Truchot. Simone on lap 10 went purple with a 53.650. But look at this fight for second, third, and fourth. This is the scrap for the final 2 positions on the podium as Benja Fernandez in that Kart Republic for Trinity Karting Group is turning up the wick. Catching up to that lead group for second, third, and fourth. Hold on. Still wide open for the final steps on the podium as they work their way down the back straightaway. Here comes Woon to the inside. Book it. He'll take the spot, but an over-under for Rocco Simone. Simone back to the bottom of the racetrack. He'll try to hold it through turn number 1. No, it's Woon. Woon will take the spot. Comes across the bow from right to left, and he'll hold on to the position. Good fight here for second and third. Ashton Woon, the Arizona driver on the Nitro, back to P2. He did not let Simone pull away after he passed. Simone was very strong midway through the race. Was able to get by to take that position, but Woon went nowhere. Hung around, got a good feel for Simone, was able to stay right with him, use that draft, and he has benefited by that approach to go back to P2 here with about 4 laps remaining. Truchot's lead 6.2 seconds as he went purple again last time by. We're keying on this awesome fight for second spot though. Ashton Woon on the Nitro. And Benja Fernandez at the tail of that group. Big run for Fernandez coming down the straightaway. He's going to look to the inside of Simone to turn number 1. Fernandez, book it. Benja Fernandez goes to P3. Did they go a little too high on the tire pressures for Rocco Simone? He has not been able to hold that same pace. Benja Fernandez now into third. He's thinking about P2 as well. I told you, 2 to 3/10 quicker than both those drivers over the last couple of laps. The kart of Fernandez definitely coming in. Spoke with Sean Bailiff from the Trinity Karting Group yesterday. Very happy to have a handful really of new cadet drivers under the Trinity Karting camp, and they are looking good here in micro as Benja Fernandez now running in the third spot. He gets a great run coming out of turn number 11 though to 12. Maybe an over-under, tries the outside. They're closing up now on the number 72, a slower kart. Here goes Fernandez to the inside of Woon, and he will take over P2. Move Fernandez to second. Benja Fernandez to second spot as he gets by first Simone and then Woon. 2 laps remaining here for the drivers in Micro Swift, brought to you by Trinity Karting Group. And Fernandez now runs second, Woon in third, Rocco Simone fourth. Samuel Martinez 5th, Cameron Marcia 6th, 7th is Travis Pettit, 8th Troy Ferguson up 9 spots, as was Jackson Porter up 9 to 9th, and Royce Vega rounding out the top 10. I don't think we're done yet here with this fight because Ashton Woon is not done at all. He is right there with Fernandez. Leader across the line to get the white flag. One more lap for Truchot. Here goes Woon to the inside. He'll take the spot. Ashton Woon back to second. Rocco Simone not closing up to take advantage of it. He'll try to go to work here as well. Maybe 3 wide to turn 2. Simone to the inside. He'll put Fernandez back. Simone to third. What a great move there for Simone. He's going to go to second potentially. Thinks about it in turn number 4. No. So indeed, it's still Woon in second. Fernandez trying the outside run on Simone. Not quite enough. Well, can he beat him to turn 6? He does not. Back through 7 and 8 right now. It is still Woon holding on to the position. Truchot, though, the leader out front. Let's pick up the leader here now as he's going to come around the final part of this racetrack. Down the back straightaway comes the leader, Truchot, and he is going to win it. Truchot with the victory. Double checker from Aaron Likens. And the win goes to Alessandro Truchot. Here's the fight to the very finish. Ashton Woon with second, and Rocco Simone just getting by Benja Fernandez on the final circuit. Here comes the remainder of the field. It'll be Samuel Martinez for Parolin as well in the 37, getting 5th. Cameron Marcia 6th, Travis Pettit in 7th, Troy Ferguson 8th, Jackson Porter 9th, and Royce Vega across the line to finish in the 10th position. Our Micro Swift drivers putting on a heck of a show to start things off here for main events of the opening round of the SuperKarts USA Winter Series here in Homestead. Truchot with the win. The margin of victory, 8.591 seconds. Dominant run for Alessandro Truchot. Ashton Woon, Rocco Simone, and Benja Fernandez put a show on for all you guys watching on Kart Chaser. What a heck of a fight that was. Woon comes home with the win, having fallen back to 4th place at a time. Woon in second. Rocco Simone will round out the top 3, the podium finishers. And again, Benja Fernandez and Samuel Martinez capping off the top 5. What a great way to start our main events here in what is now a sunny Homestead, Florida. It's been a great day so far. We got a lot more main events for you. 7 more mains set to come here this afternoon. Glad you're tuning in to Kart Chaser, folks. Great day so far. It's time to cut to a quick break. When we get back, KA100 Junior will drop the gloves for main event number 1.
Parolin USA, a top-level performance team with unmatched hospitality, offering a full-service driver development program with year-round testing available in Miami, Florida, and the official North America racing team of Parolin Racing Chassis. Chassis and parts available at ParolinUSA.com. If you're looking for top-grade equipment, look no further than Rev Performance Materials engine mounts, sprockets, and arcade chains. Available online now at RevPerformanceMaterials.com and through a dealer near you. The highest quality material, built to the highest quality standards. Rev Performance Materials.
So, folks, we're back live here again from AMR Homestead-Miami Motorplex, presented by MG Tires. My name is Rob Howden, joined throughout this event by Xander Clemens and the whole crew here from Kart Chaser. We're getting set to go with our second main event of the day. It's KA100 Junior. These drivers getting ready to dial things in for their first main event of the 2022 Winter Series season. Great run in the pre-final In the end, it's going to be Austin Jers starting on the pole position alongside Caleb Gaffera. Jers with that last lap pass to get the position. Jers P1, Caleb Gaffera in second. Row 2 will see Max Taylor start alongside Adam Brickley. Row 3 will be Luke Welcome and Ernesto Plavovich. Then row 4 will have Max Schweid and Reagan Seville. Row number 5, Valentino Garbarino and Anthony Rivera. The drivers will come out onto the front straightaway, get into those staging lanes. And again, they'll work their way down now into turn number 1. We are underway. Good start, I believe, there for Austin Jers. They'll work their way down to the back part of this racetrack here into turn number 4. Indeed, Jers with the early lead. Caleb Gaffera settling into the second spot. Drivers fighting it out as they always do in the opening couple of circuits, trying to dial things in here right now. Jers still out front. So opening circuit. Drivers feel looking pretty comfortable here so far. Jers, Gaffera, 1-2. Out of the inner loop, turns 7 and 8. Here's that battle there right now, second, third, and fourth. Caleb Gaffera, P2, as the lead is definitely all Austin Jers. Got a pretty good advantage here on the opening circuit as they get ready to come across the line. Make it 0.7 of a second for Jers. Everybody's single file now, dialed in after the opening circuit. Jers, Gaffera, Max Taylor into that third spot. Adam Brickley in fourth position. Rather, Luke Welcome in fourth, Adam Brickley in fifth. Again, opening circuit here as we're into the main events. The second of 8 main events on the day for you. Austin Jers, leader. Gaffera, Taylor, Welcome, and Brickley, top 5.
Test.
Austin Jers taking full advantage of that lead, but Caleb Gaffera starting to dial things in. And indeed closing up as what could be a 2-driver breakaway. Winner last year, Luke Welcome, has got himself up into third. Started in the 5th position. Luke Welcome now up into that next spot, up into third. Max Taylor back to 4th. Some of the bigger movers further back in the field, Mateo Naranjo has gone from 15th up into the 11th spot. 8 position improvement for Stephen Miller. Started 21st. He's up into 13th. Gaffera purple last time by, and that's why he's cut this gap to less than 0.2 of a second. Maybe 3 kart lengths right now behind Austin Jers. Love seeing the second generation drivers out here as well. Austin and Caleb preceded by their dads, Todd Jers and Chuck Gaffera. That's racing families for you, ladies and gentlemen. I'd love to see that out here. Austin and Caleb, 2 of the top junior drivers in the country. Austin leading the way right now. Gaffera in second. Max Schweid goes purple this last time by from 5th. And the number 889 watching this fight for the lead, though, now. Good scrap. Gaffera has just been dialing things in slowly but surely, now to within a couple 10ths of a second. Right there, maybe a length and a half. Looking really good on the brakes coming into turn number 5. The key is, can they pull away? Does Jers have the speed to stretch away from the rest of the field? You don't want 3rd, 4th, and 5th to close up if you're Caleb Gaffera. Do you pull the trigger and go back out front, or do you get yourself into the position? Xander, I know you're working a lot of good stuff here, but we got a great race. 2-driver battle up front. Not surprising what we saw in the pre-final, Austin Jers and Caleb Gaffera. Dialing things in here for Xander, getting them dialed in. We're working on our pit reporter camera. We'll get that thing dialed in for you before the end of the weekend for sure. It's going to be good to get those guys in place for you. Again, say hello to all of those of you tuning into the Kart Chaser Premium subscription program. Great to have you on board. And we got ourselves a tremendous battle. Like I said, Caleb Gaffera settling in nicely here right now, Xander.
Yeah, he's looking great. He's looking great, Rob. Yeah, definitely dialing stuff in. Obviously, a big part of what made our stream, what we thought so successful back with our debut at the Miami Grands, was being able to talk to the drivers. We want to be able to do that. And, you know, it's one thing where we can have it at the last race of the day, like the X30 Seniors. They can walk over, join us in the booth. But being able to grab them for a split second, we're working on getting that interview going. So for those of you that are looking for that, don't worry. We're going to be talking to as many of your favorite drivers as we can. That's what I'm working for. But luckily, we've got the voice of karting here with us, Rob Howden, this weekend. So we can cover a little bit bit. Of course, we always thank you guys for tuning in here. Make sure to share with your friends that you're watching the Kart Chaser Premium subscription stream. Again, we'll be able to watch this again tomorrow with the same thing for main events, and any main events that you haven't already seen live, they'll be free for everybody on replay following the race weekend. Now, again, with Caleb Gaffera and Austin Jers being head of the field and swapping positions, it looked like for a moment, if they would have stayed the way they were, they might have got a little gap. Now they've swapped. That's allowed Max Schweid to stay close. It's allowed, of course, the rest of that top 5 group to kind of stay somewhat packed together. I mean, really, you could go arguably all the way back to 7th with, I believe, Luke Welcome there at the end of the train. So Gaffera will lead a lap here this time for the first in a moment. Jers second, and under pressure, Schweid. Good run there down the front straightaway. Max Schweid to the bumper.
Yeah, Max Schweid's throwing a lot of speed here right now. Went purple last time by. And I was wondering how long Caleb Gaffera was comfortable sitting P2. I think he was hoping that Jers would be able to stretch away with him, but instead he's gone to the position. So Gaffera's gone to P1. Jers now has his hands full with Max Schweid, who went purple last time by. That's the battle for second and third. Fourth, though, Max Taylor in the 830. He's right in there as well. 4-driver breakaway. Then you go back to Adam Brickley and Valentino Garbarino.
Yeah, and again, as we have talked all day long and about how many new faces get to set the tone for 2022, here at the front. Max Schweid, local racer here, getting a big chip off his shoulder that he can run at the front of the national field. In fact, he's almost going for second there. Pulled out of line for a moment, tucked back in. There he goes, down the inside for second on Austin Jers. And he's through turn number 1. Jers drops to P3.
That was a solid pass, and it's not like Jers made a mistake at all coming out of 12. He got a great run out. Just a better run for Schweid, able to get a bit of a drive, tuck back to the inside, finish that pass down into turn number 1. Textbook pass for Schweid. He's now to P2. Let's see what he's got in terms of potentially closing up on Caleb Gaffera.
Man, that would be something here for Max Schweid. A kid that's run at the front. He's podiumed on the regional level. If he could really fight, and especially if he could eke one out and grab himself a national win, that would be huge for him and his family. They're under the JC karting banner, as you mentioned. Pitted on their own a lot of the time as well when they come out and test here all the time. This is, of course, what so many racers in South Florida look forward to, is when the SKUSA Winter Series comes to town. That's their big weekend. That's their chance to get into the spotlight on the national scene and really try to challenge for race wins. And right now he's doing everything that he probably has dreamt of for the last 10 months since we've been here back at the end of February with the SKUSA Winter Series, almost 11. If we go back to turn number 4 here, this time Schweid, I don't know if he's closing in, because unfortunately they didn't seem to think so. In fact, he's got a problem. Is that Schweid? Yeah.
Driver off coming out of turn number 4. Indeed, we'll pick that up right here.
Yeah, Max Schweid with an issue here. He went, I don't know what happened over in turn number 4. They were going by him for whatever reason. Austin Jers went by, and I mixed up him and Max Taylor in the Mike Doty Racing full tilt livery for a moment. He just went completely into the runoff. I don't know what happened to Schweid, but obviously way down the order now, and you hate to see it. Commentators curse.
Yeah, and he slowed like you thought something could have been wrong, and then he was able to get back out into the racetrack. So not sure what happened to Max Schweid there, but he does come back on track. And indeed, Gaffera now with the lead by 1.3 seconds. Jers runs in second. Here's that scrap a little further back as well. Max Taylor, Valentino Garbarino, Luke Welcome, that's your top 5. That's that fight again, yeah, for third and fourth position. Garbarino had just gone by Max Taylor. So Valentino Garbarino, who started in the 9th spot, has worked his way to P3. A great run up into what is now a podium position. Potential podium for Garbarino in that number 804. Returning really good lap times, finally able to get by Max Taylor.
And it's unfortunate, again, because we were getting to see a really good battle for the lead, and with them kind of not knowing what to do with Max Schweid, it gave Caleb Gaffera a little more breathing room. Now he's able to get a lot more space out front. That lead over a second out of the drafting window. He put some good laps together. He might not get touched to the end of this thing here as Austin Jers tries to be the next one to get there.
Yeah, we'll have a look at the lap times here. You're watching the guys come through. You can see the gap that Caleb Gaffera had last time. We showed them come out of turn 12 and across the stripe. The actual margin, 1.5 seconds for Gaffera out front. His fast lap of 50.553. Last time by 50.65. So within a tenth of a second of his fastest lap, as we have 10 laps remaining here right now. Across the halfway point in the main events here for the drivers in the KA100 Junior category of the class presented by Team Bennick. And again, the scrap we've seen further back has been a good one, but there's Gaffera there, that nice, brilliant yellow helmet, making it a little easier to pick him out in the Rawlison Performance Group Cosmic Colors. Down the back chute for the driver out of North Carolina, Gaffera, who represented the United States last year at the CIK FIA Karting Academy Trophy Series, leading here right now in KA 100. 1.6 seconds, another 50.6. Knocking off the consistent lap times you need, Xander, when you're the race leader.
No, he's doing everything he needs to do as a race leader, Rob. You're 100% right. 1.6 seconds, consistent laps, not freaking out about the gap behind. And, Caleb's obviously, he's won a couple of national level races, to say the least. He's been in this position before where he's had a good kart, had a good piece underneath him, had a good power plant, been able to just log laps. So he knows how good of a feeling that can be, and those first-time nerves definitely are not going to be on him. As they work their way down and around the back sector, this time by, it'll be 8 laps to go here in the 20-lap main event, doubling our distance from the pre-finals here, and hopefully we'll get everybody doubled at 20 laps through to daylight to the end of the day. So far, so good, of course. Gaffera through turn number 1. Now that gap, another 10th added, 1.7 seconds to Austin Jers.
Yeah, and just to keep the big roll in a 50.5. 50.5, 50.6, consistent lap times. Racers out there, when you're out there practicing, you'll see guys that'll throw it up on social media on the micron where they have lap times all within the same 10th of a second, same 100th, whatever it may be. That's the consistency you want. As a driver, develop that consistency. Hit your marks. It's nothing boring at all about knocking out consistent lap times. Boom, boom, boom. They don't need to be even the fastest lap times of everybody in the field. Fastest lap time is a 50.3 for Stephen Miller. But when you're banging out consistent 5s and 6s, that holds the lead, and that's what Caleb Gaffera is doing right now.
No doubt. He's doing everything. And again, those consistent laps, like you said, it's just adding to that lead little by little. That battle for second, it might become something a little bit more here in a few laps. I think definitely Valentino Garbarino is taking his time getting there, but he's still getting there. He's on to George's bumper, and he doesn't necessarily have to make that move instantly because I think he can see that he may not have the pace to challenge Gaffera. Let's see, though, turn 5, not this time. No, he won't go by, but that'll be the closest battle we see is that battle for inside the podium because we go back to Max Taylor, his pace, even to Jersey, about a half-tenth off. Stephen Miller, quickest driver overall with the single best lap and has gone up 16 positions. But he has
started 21st.
Yeah, wow. Started deep. And he's only 4.5 back from the lead, but without a major fight up front, I don't think he could eat up a 1.5 second gap to second and third. But again, you never know. Someone could turn it up with 6 laps to go. It's possible. It's just really, really hard for Stephen Miller to get there.
Just got to give him the props right now, though, even though he's not getting the camera time in the Paddock and Racing Machine. 25th, up into the 5th spot. Fast lap of the race on lap number 8. Still turning 50.6. His fast time, last lap faster than the leader for Stephen Miller. So a really good run. It bodes well. Hey, you have a good run here. Even if it's a recovery, Xander, from the pre-final, it sets you up for tomorrow as well, right? Because we're doing this all again on Sunday.
Yeah, we absolutely are here. We'll run it all the way back. Hopefully we don't have a monsoon again overnight. Knock on wood, of course. Right. We'd love to be able to keep everybody's tents intact. That was another unfortunate thing in the paddock. Always a few canopies get lost in the storm, and then delaying the racing. We want to make sure that we get all the distance, all the laps that we want, and get to go early in the morning with our live stream. We were set to go live as early as 9:10 a.m. this morning, and unfortunately with the delay at track time, we ended up going live till a little bit after 10 with qualifying. So we'll go live, obviously, on schedule so long as the track is on schedule tomorrow to bring more action and add a few more laps to each main event. Right now, for this one, again, you're watching on your screen, if you're just tuning in, the battle for second in KA 100 Junior. Austin Jers just ahead of Valentino Garbarino. Up the road about 2 seconds is Caleb Gaffera. And then from there, really 4th and 5th, kind of stable at the moment. Max Taylor might come into the clutches of Stephen Miller in a few laps. He's already gone by, of course, Luke. Welcome. And as we've talked about, Miller up from 21st on the grid, so a heck of a climb for Stephen Miller. The only stipulation we may see now is one lap driver is going to be in the mix here for Caleb Gaffera as he works his way through turns 1 and 2. It's about a second and a half up the road, but they'll catch them pretty quickly. Beyond that, though, pretty stable, pretty easy going. Main event here for Gaffera in the KA 100 Junior. He has it on lock at the moment with 4 to go.
Yeah, no doubt about that. 4 laps remaining. Gaffera 50.4. He's got it down to 50.4s now. The last couple laps, a 50.442 and a 50.449. 7 thousandths of a second separating those 2 lap times for Caleb Gaffera out front. 2.5 seconds of lead. But keying on this battle here now, it's been a really good run, I think, for both Austin Jers and for Valentino Garbarino, because Jers, the one being pressured, has not cracked, has not made a mistake, and Garbarino continues to put the pressure on as they're trying to work their way through some slower traffic in a tough part of the racetrack, exiting out of turn number 12. Watch Jers go to the inside, maybe try to set that pick. Nope, Garbarino through cleanly as well. So with 3 laps remaining, I think we're still in a good position to potentially have a fight for second spot.
No, I definitely think we do. I think we've got maybe only a kart length between them, and it stayed at that. Garbarino still pretty close. Of course, you got the two main spotlights of this main event here on your screen right now. Top right-hand corner of your screen, we've got Caleb Gaffera, your race leader, just a little ways up the road. Dominating performance thus far. Behind him, again, Austin Jers, 3 karts ahead, down to 2, down to 1 in the draft over Valentino Garbarino, and they've been that way for about the last half of the race or so, at least 6 to 8 laps, if not more. Coming down to the double sticks this time by. It'll be 2 laps to go for the race leader, Caleb Gaffera, as he rounds the final corner, comes across the start-finish line. 2 more circuits around here at Homestead for the first checkered flag in KA Junior of 2022.
What a run here for Caleb Gaffera. Now, he's, of course, benefited a little bit from the fight behind him, but was able to go to the lead after Jers took the point from the get-go. And again, Gaffera settling in, started at the off-pole, took over that lead, and has just laid down amazing laps ever since. Backed it down to about a 50.785 last lap, like he might have made a minor mistake. We'll see what happens with Gaffera in terms of getting back down to a 50.4, but nonetheless, it's been really consistent lap times for the North Carolina driver. Again, his second year in the junior categories. Spent a lot of time last year in 2021 in Europe, running in the CIK FIA Karting Academy Trophy as the American representative. Did a number of other races in the WSK program as well, and that really has been big for Gaffera. He'll see the white flag this time by. 1 more lap to go for Gaffera. Rollison Performance Group looking to put a junior win in KA 100 Junior on the docket, on the resume for this weekend.
And we see here the battle now fully heated up here for second. We went back a moment. Stephen Miller was able to get by Max Taylor. That was for 4th. And battling here through turn number 4, Austin Jers just ahead of our Valentino Garbarino. He defended into 1. Maybe not going to have to defend, I don't think, into 5. Looks like he should be in a good position. There's still as much as 3 seconds down the road from Caleb Gaffera, who has dominated all the way through this main event since getting to the lead by Austin Jers. We weren't sure how much different in pace they were. Ultimately, a pretty big difference, Rob. Final time down the back.
Yeah, here comes Gaffera looking around the car coming down the back straightaway, and count him a winner. In Winter Series competition, Caleb Gaffera for Rollison Performance Group. Victorious double checkers from Aaron Likens. Gaffera winning by 2.887 seconds. Austin Jers overcoming consistent pressure from Valentino Garbarino over the last number of laps. Remainder of the drivers working their way across the start-finish line here. Stephen Miller coming home in 4th. Max Taylor 5th. Luke Welcome in 6th spot. Adam Brickley in 7th. Reagan Seville 8th. Anthony Rivera in 9th, and Ernesto Pavlovich rounding out the top 10. How about Garbarino started 9th up into the 3rd spot. Stephen Miller started 21st. Xander getting his way up into P4. What a performance. Went purple. Hard charger, I would expect. Stephen Miller, great drive.
No, heck of a drive for Stephen Miller for sure. As we watch the checkered flag fly for the last few drivers, Gaffera will pull into the scale line. 1 race down, 1 more to go. Obviously for Gaffera, might be a little bit tougher in X30 Junior than our KA Junior, but nonetheless, he gets the first KA Junior checkered flag here of 2022 for the SuperKarts USA Winter Series. 2 main events down, still a lot more to come here, Rob, and we'll go back through the rest of the top 10 too, because it was a good battle that we didn't show a lot of in the midfield, especially at the edge of the top 10. Of course, Max Taylor losing that 4th spot at the end of Miller, finishes 5th. Luke Welcome 6th. Adam Brickley 7th. Reagan Seville 8th. Anthony Rivera 9th. Ernesto Plavovich rounding the top 10. And you can see, I mean, just field just really sprung out, but not a lot of DNFs, not a lot of crazy, wrecks in turn number 1. It was good. It was good to see, obviously, the KA Juniors kind of playing nice.
Yeah, giving us a couple of guys to look at throughout the season as well. Caleb Gaffera with the win, Austin Jers in 2nd, and Valentino Garbarino finishing off what will be your unofficial podium in KA 100 Junior. Xander, it's going to be a lot of fun because next up, get ready for the seniors, guys. KA 100 Senior up next. Don't go anywhere. Live coverage of the SuperKarts USA Winter Series here on Kart Chaser.
Kart Store USA is a kart parts supplier that racers and retailers can count on when they need reliable advice and service. We focus on servicing all racers with honesty and pride while maintaining customer satisfaction. We carry a full stock of Kart Republic and Tony Kart chassis, as well as IAMI and Vortex Rock engines. We've also got a host of other parts available and in stock, such as products from Rev Performance Materials, Jekko Racing Seats, and more. We have a 100% satisfaction guarantee, and on top of that, if your order exceeds $200, shipping is on us. Check out all we have to offer today by visiting us online at kartstore-usa.com. So welcome back, folks, here to AMR Homestead-Miami Motorplex. Live again here for the SuperKarts USA Winter Series. Of course, I am Xander Clements alongside eKarting News on Rob Howden. It has been a great day of racing action. We had a lot of crazy weather this morning, but man, it's been a beautiful South Florida afternoon.
Yeah, that's what we want, right? We want the blue sky. That's what we come to Florida for, not for the rain, for the sun. We do have a bit of a breeze here right now, but the racing has been tremendous. I'll bring it up later. I don't want to jinx things right now, but no pushback bumpers. Turn one's been pretty good so far, to be real.
No, it really has. I mean, we've gone through every single class so far. It really hasn't been too bad. It always seems to work okay at 90-degree corners. We're going to see it again here. KA Senior looking good. Their brake formation. Nick Terlecki leads the train down to the first corner.
Terlecki coming through cleanly, I believe. Looks good through at least the first 5 or 6 rows. Coming through 2 and 3. Terlecki will lead him out of 3 down to the hairpin for the first time. Got a big wide berth coming through there to get a good run out of the corner. And indeed, the Merlin driver out front. The 2 front drivers trying to stretch away a little bit here. But it is Nicholas Terlecki, the first driver to turn 5.
Nice and easy opening lap here once again for Nick Terlecki. He's able to pick up some ground on Connor Ferris, moving that gap to about a cart and a half. Ferris into second, as you mentioned here. Jeremy Fletcher rolled off on the outside of the front row. All 3 drivers, probably the best racing we've seen all day was in KA Senior's pre-final. I mean, back and forth. All 3 of them had a great shot to win, and now we're about to add a 4th factor because Carson Morgan is there.
And that's a 4-driver breakaway, as you can see. They got a pretty big gap right now over Peyton Phillips out of Texas for Core Karting in the number 10. He runs P5, but it's Terlecki, Ferris, Fletcher, and Carson Morgan up front. The front-running quartet, some really solid talent there. Terlecki has been good, as we know, on the Merlin, and he is setting the early pace with Connor Ferris right behind him. Fletcher and Morgan lining up. I'll expect, I think, for the first couple of laps here, Xander, to see these front 4 probably work together to try to stretch away.
Yeah, again, they're going to get to that point. Like I said, at a certain point in the race, they're going to want to get single file, run some hot laps, and really kind of test each other. See if they've all got the pace. If any of them doesn't, they're going to see some passing, and that guy might get dropped.
What will be interesting, too, is Terlecki and Ferris have not had a chance to race with a couple of junior drivers, right? So let's be real. Fletcher and Morgan, couple of strong junior drivers moving up into senior. Once we do start getting dicey, it'll be the first time that they've really went wheel to wheel with each other.
Right. I mean, we talk about one junior having to assimilate into a massive crowd of seniors, but this is a 50-50 split between two top-level juniors who know how each other race because they raced each other all year long last year, and two drivers who have been in senior for a couple of seasons now and kind of know how the senior flow goes.
Yeah, and they're not just any old juniors, right? You got a two-time SKUSA Pro Tour champion and the guy that Fletcher just came off 2 wins at the Super Nationals. These are two of the absolute best juniors in the sport, running third and fourth right now.
Make that second here. Fletcher. Whoa, it was forceful, too. Looked like a little bit of a hip check to Ferris as he went by. I don't think he meant to be contact. It was just a good late move, clean move, a little bit of contact. Rubbin's racing for sure, and about 4 car lengths now up to the leader. Oh, man, what a move by Carson Morgan.
Morgan dives into the inside at turn number 12 to take the spot. But back to the pass over in turn number 8 there. Turn number 8. You almost need to have a bit of contact there. There's not a lot of room to get in there. If there's some contact, it's almost okay in that particular corner.
No,
you got to rough it up there.
That is an exciting corner. Yeah. That's why I'm so happy we've got some of these cameras with good enough zoom to really capture that. And we're going to keep playing with our angles, especially into tomorrow and through the year to make sure we can see, because there's so many corners like that in karting, obviously, as you know, Rob, that just it's so exciting to see when passes get made. And that's one of my favorite corners, to not only pass it personally when I drive here, but to watch guys race it. It makes the last lap very exciting.
You can just see a little bit of a gap being pulled here right now by Terlecki as they're battling behind. Fletcher's got himself into second, Morgan to third, and Ferris back to fourth. That fight for second has given a little bit of gap for Nicholas Terlecki. But look at this, Morgan having a look to the inside of Fletcher to turn number 1. Book it. He's through as well. Morgan, the man on the move. And, man, we talked about that at the Super Nationals. How good is this kid going to be when he goes to senior? Is he going to pick things up? Is he going to be right in the fight for race wins? Well, he kind of was at the Super Nats. He's showing right now here that experience at the Super Nat has already taken him to the next level. Carson Morgan now to P2.
Absolutely. I mean, two drivers who are just, head and shoulders above where the rest of the junior field was, and no disrespect to them, because we had a strong junior class in 2021, but they were the class of the field without a doubt. And now, again, jumping right into senior kids, you just know there's some you're like, man, I really think he's going to jump well into the top ranks. And while they've battled a little bit, not only did it kind of keep that gap that's lucky, I don't think it's gotten too much bigger, but we've added 2 more drivers to this pack. Yeah. Peyton Phillips, a second-year senior driver who started to make a name for himself, was a local Texas-based driver. Agreed. Small shop core karting, growing, budding karting team out of Dallas, Texas, now getting into the mix. And on top of that, at the end of him, another senior rookie, Aiden Rudolph, closing in here in 6th.
Yeah, and in fact, Peyton Phillips just went purple as well. He is P5, Rudolph 6th, as you said. They've come to the tail of this lead group, what was a front-running quartet. Almost now 6 drivers up front, led by Nicholas Terlecki. Still Terlecki as the leader. Morgan runs second, Fletcher in third. In 4th is Ferris. 5th spot is Phillips, and 6th is Rudolph. So a couple of Texans in Phillips and Rudolph, P5 and P6.
Yeah, a couple of Texans there at the end of the train as they come through the final corner here. Nick Terlecki continues to lead. That time by 3 car lengths, so they're slowly coming back to him. 6 car total train here for KA100 Senior in this main event. Carson Morgan, just, he's not, I don't think, really a ton quicker than Fletcher, maybe a hair, but he's able to chip away at that gap for Terlecki, and that's all of the rest of the guys really want out of him as they work their way through.
And that's it. We're so early in the race right now. Drivers all settling in. You know the karts are going to get better and better as we get ready to roll here to that second half. Everybody kind of settling in, wait for those tires to come up to temperature that we need, and once they get to where they need to be, then they can kind of go on the attack. Right now, it's a 6-driver lead group with Terlecki, Fletcher, Morgan, Fletcher, Ferris, Phillips, and Rudolph. Great racing so far here in KA100 Senior. The category brought to you by AM Engines. And we got a pass for the lead in turn 12. Move Morgan to the point. Carson Morgan to the top of the box here right now. And it's Terlecki back into second. So great run right now here, as we said, for Carson Morgan. And he ends up taking it to the front. All that action, moving him to P1, but not for long. Terlecki back to the bottom. Fletcher going to push through as well. Fletcher now to the inside. Terlecki, he's going to get put to the outside. Morgan comes across the bow. Fletcher into the lead, and Ferris has now gone to P3. That's going to move Peyton Phillips into fourth, and it's Terlecki, I believe, potentially back into fifth. Terlecki goes all the way back to fifth.
Yeah, and Phillips, you're right, he was fourth for a second, and then Aiden Rudolph snuck his nose in and then got Phillips back to sixth. Now he'll go on to Lucky. It's all broken loose now here, Robin, KA100 Senior.
No doubt about it. Yeah, and look at Terlecki all the way back down to sixth position now as he's trying to go forward. I think Aiden Rudolph is potentially up to P4. So move Aiden now into the fourth spot as he's back on the Burrell Art running with PSL karting. Strong run for Rudolph, P4. He's watching those guys up front of him battle it out. Morgan, Fletcher. Here goes Fletcher. He'll go to the inside, book it in turn number 5.
What a battle here. Here comes Ferris to the outside. Morgan going to muscle him, make sure he only loses one spot. A little bit of aggression there out of Carson Morgan. Ferris going to let him have it. He won't fight him into 9. They'll work their way over to 10 and 11 through the back 90s here. Still close enough to Fletcher. They'll suck right up to the rear bumper down the back straightaway. We've still got plenty more laps to come out of this here. They got to be careful. The national number 1, Cole Morgan, purple last time. He's closing in on this pack of 6.
Yeah,
Tyler Wettengell and more.
I just had a look at that. Well, Cole Morgan going purple. Oh, here we go. He's not that far back. Cole Morgan trying to stretch into Xander and said, good pick up there. Because if they keep fighting like they are right now, because there's a new leader, Morgan's gone to the lead. Cole Morgan, or the Carson Morgan back to the lead. That's going to keep stacking it up. Look out. How about 2 wide? Coming down. Contact there as well. Morgan gets into the side of Fletcher.
Were they 4 wide for a second right there?
Morgan didn't do the complete turn into the apex. I'm surprised he didn't lose another spot there as he kind of got into the side of Fletcher a bit. And who is that now up into
That's
second?
Peyton Phillips.
Phillips up to second.
What a job here. Avoids all the carnage. Cole Morgan now able to get by Aiden Rudolph. He drops back to 7th. Morgan up to 6th. His younger brother Carson leads the way. Phillips saying, look, he just signaled to Carson Morgan. He's like, I don't want to deal with any of that anymore. Please, let's just go. I'll push you. I'll do whatever. Make it a 2-kart race. And so that's what they're trying to do. They've got the opportunity. They're on the verge of getting away, but it is so tough here in Senior. And look at that. Already through turn 4, Jeremy Fletcher carving right back. And he's not going to forget what just happened right there.
No, yeah, it looked to me like Morgan just wasn't making the move. And there goes Peyton Phillips in the core karting machine. Move him to P1 now. And that's going to bring Fletcher back. And you're right. Fletcher's going to be like, listen, that's not what I like. There's the inside move. Tight hugging through turn number 6 and 7, or 7 and 8 rather. And Morgan goes back to the lead.
Yeah, great move by Carson Morgan to take that spot back, defend it into 9. Now they're all stacked up again, the top 4 down the back straightaway with Ferris at the end. Terlecki still with a shot at it. Cole Morgan again. Today, dismal qualifying run. And honestly, not a great start here to his main event. But he is digging, is 6th, and is closing. Tyler Wettengell has cracked the top 10. We've got a lot of drivers that can still, and Rob, we just passed the halfway mark. We got 9 still to go.
Yeah, that's what I had in the pocket to say right there. We're still 9 laps to go. Cole Morgan only 1.5 back, and they're racing like it's the last lap of the Supernats up front here right now. We've had a number of new leaders, and we're going to see who holds on here. Carson Morgan, right now P1. You can see that Peyton Phillips runs in 2nd, Fletcher 3rd, Connor Ferris back up to 4th. A lot of beating and banging there with guys kind of checking up a bit. Thankfully, no pushback bumpers. We're not going to see any penalties there. These guys racing pretty hard, and indeed, Peyton Phillips, you think about him. What if he gets out of here with a race win? How big would that be for core karting as he's battling against the driver who won 2 Pro Tour Junior Championships last year?
Oh, it'd be massive. Again, you know, when you're a racing team, right, you're measuring yourself up against not just the drivers, but the accomplishments of the other teams. You know, both for Carson Morgan's sake and for Ryan Perry Motorsports. I mean, they have become a powerhouse, and they've been a long mainstay here of the championship with Superkarts USA for a long, long time. But, I mean, you've got RPG, you have RPM, and you have a handful of others. For core karting to be up in the mix, and now also to be obviously having a shot at this win, I mean, it would be huge.
Watching the drivers settle in here, because now they start thinking, hey, you know what, we got 8 to go. I got to make sure I'm in the right spot. And indeed, Fletcher pulling the trigger there, coming into turn number 9 to be able to make that move by Peyton Phillips. Fletcher's now gone back into 2nd position, the Team Fella machine, working his way down the back straightaway. And again, Morgan trying to stretch away, but Fletcher knew he needed to get back by. Fletcher stretching in, and here comes Cole Morgan. He'll make a move to the inside. Terlecki down into turn number 1. Watch for Morgan coming up here as well. Cole Morgan into 5th.
Yeah, just at the edge of your screen there. You mentioned it. Cole Morgan into fifth. He now gets to lock in behind Connor Ferris, who also was just kind of up and down through the top 5. Morgan now with even a little bit of a gap over Terlecki. Terlecki lost a lot of ground there. I'm not sure what exactly happened through turn 4. Aiden Rudolph, again, was in this lead pack, has faded backwards a little bit. Tyler Wettengale looked like he was coming with Morgan for the ride. Currently is not, as the leading group has now gone back down to roughly 5. Carson Morgan at the front, Cole Morgan, big brother, at the end, all with an even chance, especially with the way they've been fighting. Any one of these 5 could win this one.
Yeah, outside this front-running top 5 is Nicholas Terlecki, Tyler Wettengale, Aiden Rudolph, Josh Holtz, and Aiden Livy. Watching these guys up front, though, is really putting on a show for us. And here comes Fletcher. You want to know what kind of payback there may be after getting unceremoniously shoved off the racing line in turn number 5 to allow Morgan to take that lead before Phillips went up front. Here goes Fletcher now. He's within a cart length coming down into turn number 5. Again, they don't have to worry about the pushback. They just got to worry about the race control and the video marshalling system if there's any kind of contact. And Fletcher running strongly there. Half a cart length coming out of the inner loop, and right there with him as well, Peyton Phillips.
Yeah, right there, and this is probably the tamest we've seen this main event, and it just so happens that you got your 2 youngest drivers out in front with Carson Morgan and Jeremy Fletcher, 2 who love to lead. Peyton Phillips, he seems to be content there in third. His cart actually didn't look that great that time through turn number 12. Got away from it a little bit, and he lost a little bit of ground. So we'll see if that thing is going to hang on here for a few more laps. A lot of pace early, but now he's backing up to the front bumper of Connor Ferris, and I don't think Ferris will wait too long. He's right there into 4. Phillips closes back in on rubber band for now, and we hold okay. But Nick Terlecki, you talk about a driver's cart falling off. He is nowhere to be found. Oh, man. Jeremy Fletcher, he stayed close to Carson Morgan that time. A little, hey, thank you very much. I'll give that right back to you when he went to the lead this time.
And look who was the benefactor there for a time, and it was Peyton Phillips. But Morgan right back to the inside of turn number 9. And look at the lead that has given. That pass to the inside of 9, although aggressive, you lose a bit of that exit speed. Everybody behind you loses coming out of 9. And this has given Fletcher probably about 5 or 6, maybe 7 cart lengths coming onto the front straightaway. Fletcher, your leader, and we are looking at 4 laps to go as Fletcher leads, Morgan second, Phillips third, Ferris and Morgan, Cole Morgan still rounding out the front running 5 drivers. This is great racing in KA 100. Senior Xander, everything we would expect it or hope for out of this category.
No, I mean these are young guns. You know, even the veteran senior drivers only on their 2nd or 3rd senior season at most. You know, so you're seeing guys trying to make a name for themselves. You know, a lot of drivers when they get to Norberg and Jarsacrack and even Massimino now level, they're like, you know what, I'll just focus on my X30 program. I'm not going to try and double dip. You know, but KA 100 senior, you get again both the regional guys starting to make a name for themselves, come up the ladder that way. Your Peyton Phillipses, who is still young but also regional guy, going national, and then you have the likes of these young kids, the Morgan brothers, Fletchers. They're just out here getting seat time, and I got bad news for Jeremy Fletcher fans right now. It looks like that front bumper's starting to come loose.
I'll tell you this as well. Cole Morgan just threw it in on his brother Carson. Cole Morgan's gotten to second. Now he's beating on Fletcher coming out of turn number 3. Fletcher getting pushed hardcore by Cole Morgan. Oh, the contact and outside the track. Both those drivers going together. Carson Morgan goes back to the lead. Cole Morgan gets together.
Oh, and he wrecks him back.
There it is. There's the payback right there, and that was I believe Connor Ferris involved as well. That was contact there. The payback for the contact over in turn 4. Xander, I like it. Throw it back at him in turn number 5.
Man, you know, again, they talk about in all the lights divisions, again, making a name for yourself when the big dogs aren't here. The meatball flag going to come out for Peyton Phillips. His bumper gets ripped off. He's out of the top 5. In fact, Carson Morgan has clear racetrack because his brother Cole has parted the seas with his battle with Jeremy Fletcher. Both of them were fighting each other. Fletcher, again, pays him back. I'm sure the officials are going to have a long talk with all those young boys.
We got no pushbacks. We got video marshalling system. That was a big contact down in turn number 4, and then payback down in turn number 5. And look at this top 5 right now. Carson Morgan, your leader. There he is right there leading the way. 2-time SKUSA Pro Tour champion last year. Nicholas Terlecki back to second. Aiden Rudolph up into the 3rd spot. Tyler Wettengale in 4th. Fletcher comes across the line last time by P5.
Right, and again, Fletcher, it looked like the right rear bumper bolt had broken on his cart as well, but he is still ripping with it. I don't know if it's fully come detached. If it just starts to drag, but it's still connected to the go-kart on both sides, normally you are okay. We'll watch it when he comes around this time by, just off camera here. Morgan by the line here. Fletcher, it does look, I don't know, whatever it is, white flags in the air, Rob, and this race that has just been a battle start to finish might have just a very easy checkered flag lap here for Carson Morgan.
I'll tell you this, Cole Morgan and Peyton Phillips were not happy campers when they rolled off the racetrack. Here's your leader, though, Carson Morgan, trying to come out of the gate with a KA 100 race win to start off this year's Superkarts USA Winter Series, and he has the lead comfortably by 1.7 over Nicholas Terlecki. Final lap, as we had said, following Terlecki and Rudolph. Aiden Rudolph taking advantage of that. He is now running in that third position in his senior debut as well. But down the back straightaway, this guy's won a lot of races in Superkarts USA competition. Slot a KA 100 Winter Series win on it as well. Carson Morgan, victorious in the opening round of the KA 100 program here on the Winter Series. Nicholas Terlecki second, Aiden Rudolph in third, Jeremy Fletcher back to P4, Tyler Wettengale fifth, Aiden Levy in sixth spot, Nick Bruckner in seventh, Colin Lloyd up 17 positions for Colin Lloyd. Started in 25th, he ends up in the 8th. Josh Holtz in 9th, and Gia Cicero up 7 spots to get into the top 10. I like that. I like a little bit of controversy. There's going to be some guys who are pretty heated up in the scale line. This is a little interesting stuff there, Xander.
Yeah. I think there's definitely going to be some words said across the board in the scales. It probably already is a little bit between the Morgan brothers and Jeremy Fletcher, because that battle started with Carson and Jeremy throwing haymakers.
That's exactly
and I think Cole, if you look back at Supernats and you break that down, that was big brother standing up for little brother, even though they were bullying each other earlier in that final. And I think he probably saw the back half of that fight and got into it. I'm not sure exactly what made all of that go down, but there was a lot that went down.
A lot of exciting action, no doubt about it there in KA 100 Senior. The best thing is, I keep saying this on Saturdays, we get to do it all over again here on Sunday. Folks, don't go anywhere. Carson Morgan with the win. Nicholas Terlecki and Aiden Rudolph, your unofficial podium. Lots more to come here on Kart Chaser as Mini Swift up next.
USA, a top-level performance team with unmatched hospitality, offering a full-service driver development program with year-round testing available in Miami, Florida, and the official North America racing team of Parolin Racing Chassis. Chassis and parts available at ParolinUSA.com.
I'm Billy Vincent, owner of MPG Motorsports. What we do at MPG is we try to keep it a nice, fun family atmosphere, try to combine sort of the bigger things and of the bigger teams and the professionalism down with sort of some of the fun sort of family-oriented atmosphere. We try to not only develop drivers, but also the parents and the families for just in knowledge in general in motorsports. It all starts in karting. What we try to do is try to help the drivers, the moms, the dads understand the sport of motorsports in general, not just karting, but what it takes to get all the way up through. Whether you end up wanting to be a driver or a mechanic or an engineer, we can help you with that, and that's what we're here for. If you're interested in joining us at MPG, our home base is at Whiteland Raceway Park in Indianapolis, and you can contact us at info@willpowerkart.com, and one of our great people will reach out to you, and we'll try to put the best program together.
Turn number 1, can they get through cleanly? Front 4, 5, 6 drivers already single file coming through turn number 3 over to turn number 4. So the battle now underway. Early laps crucial here to see who's going to be able to pull away, who can get positions early. And we are now settling in, as I said. Leader, I believe, looks to be Della Vecchia. I think he's been able to go to P1. Weldon slotting back now into that second position. But yeah, indeed, Della Vecchia, the lead driver out front, Xander.
Yeah, Salvador Della Vecchia, it's good that obviously the kart doesn't seem to be too bad here in the opening lap after the contact with the wall. Hung it around the outside, battling for that pre-final win. Just came up a little bit short, but he's got a great start here to this main event. Sun is shining here. He is 2. Lap 1 coming to be completed. And we've got some newcomers here joining in, including the CRG driver up there right on the bumper of Oliver Weldon, so it may not just be 2 this time.
Indeed, we'll be at the halfway point of the main events of the opening round of this year's Winter Series here after Mini Swift. This class brought to you by DNJ Intermodal Services. And not surprising, the drivers out front being smart, settling into position to try to stretch away here early. Long way to go. Again, it is an 18-lapper for the drivers here in this particular category. Seeing about a 4 or 5 cart lead pack. Let's say 4 carts coming into turn number 5. Weldon has gone to the lead right now. It is indeed Oliver Weldon to P1 in that number 84 machine. He takes over the top spot.
And Carson Weinberg able to follow him right on through. That bumps Salvador Della Vecchia back down to 3rd. And you can see the full leaderboard on the left-hand side of your screen. New colors this year. I didn't even notice this till just now here for Carson Weinberg, and I apologize to him. Brand new colors under the CRG banner this year. Former Nitro car driver bounced around a little bit on his own program. The Weinbergs have been kind of doing a privateer campaign for the last season and a half or so ongoing. And obviously switching over to the CRG brand here, running right at the front.
Not bad at all for Carson Weinberg. As you said, running P2, putting the pressure there on Oliver Weldon, looking to get the position he needs up front. Weldon, though, has been strong. And for those of you who followed a bit of social media, a wrist injury earlier in the week, thought he may not even be able to run. But right back in the seat of that cart, told me that the wrist was sore, but he was fine. And he is obviously showing well here this weekend. Leading the way right now, Weldon, as we're early in the run, a 4-driver breakaway. Weldon, Weinberg, Della Vecchia, and Luis Amana in the number 197. A little further back then to Keelan Harvick in the 162 as he runs his first Superkarts USA national event here in this Mini Swift category, having dominated for the most of the season last year in Micro Swift. Keelan, of course, winning the championship a number of races, and of course already started the season essentially off in Daytona with a couple victories there as well. So Keelan Harvick, one to watch here throughout this Mini Swift opening weekend.
No doubt. With Keelan Harvick here, one of the drivers that we got to showcase on our first live stream as well with his dominant performance at home at GoPro Motorplex. And, again, like you said, great weekend in Daytona. Not all the major drivers were there, but that was a very strong field for him to run up front again. And just like we were talking even this morning, so many talented micro drivers. Lucas Palacio going P1 in final practice yesterday. I mean, they're jumping right into the deep end with the next class up and swimming away fine. I mean, really little to no hiccups or issues or growing pains they found moving into this new class right to the front of the field. And again, for Harvick, inside the top 5.
Weldon and Weinberg starting to pull away a little bit here. Weldon in the JC karting machine, and of course Weinberg, as Xander had mentioned, moving over to the CRG. Weldon again on the Cosmic. Good run here for Weinberg, sticking with them. We're actually lining up to potentially see a 2-driver breakaway. Xander, they developed a pretty good lead right now over Della Vecchia and Luis Umana. So it could be a 2-driver fight similar to what we saw in Micro. 2 drivers getting together, stretching away, trying to make it just a 2-man fight for the race win.
Yeah, I mean, Oliver Weldon and Salvador Della Vecchia were the pair in the pre-final. Now we're looking at the pair here being Weldon again, and this time Carson Weinberg. His older brother Cameron, super successful mini and junior driver. Here he's on site this weekend, cheering on his younger brother, running through the mini ranks. And as they go down the backstretch again, they'll put another lap down, another lap to try and add to the margin. But the thing is, Carson Weinberg, he's not really glued to the bumper of Oliver Weldon. Only gets there just by the braking zone of turn number 1, which shows you 2 things. Number 1, they're not really benefiting a ton by working together. Number 2, Weldon might be a little bit quicker.
You wonder so early in this race too, right? Just a couple of laps in that maybe the cart's still starting to come in. You don't want to be too quick too early. If you're too fast out of the gate over the first 5, 6, 7 laps, you may not have the speed you need at the end when we get round 8, laps 16, 17, 18. When you're trying to go for that victory, we'll see whether or not either of these drivers have what it takes near the end of this one. But otherwise, still watching Salvador Della Vecchia. You see Della Vecchia there, P3, not that far back. In fact, last time a 54.5, a little bit quicker than Weinberg for Della Vecchia, so may not yet be done in terms of just 2 drivers up front, but it is a pretty significant gap, as you'll see as they come out of 12. Look at the gap all the way back there to Salvador Della Vecchia as they come down into 1 right now. You don't even see Della Vecchia. There he is there, P3, and then 4th is Luis Amana. 53.9 last time by for Keelan Harvick, so he was he was almost a second off of that of Weinberg on that last lap. So Harvick's getting himself settled in. Pretty good run here now, P5. Top 5 would be good for the young driver moving up from micro.
Yeah, although I think he's definitely under pressure for sure. He's been shuffled a couple positions back. Right now finds himself behind Kai Johnson, one of the younger drivers who had moved up to the mini division very early on. And the 107 machine up into 7th again, just behind Jensen Burnett. Sarah Bradley up into the top 5 now as well. She's had kind of a string of bad luck and bounced around a little bit before they seem to have found a really good home with the Paralyn USA operation. And I was talking to her mom a little bit at the regional race here a few weeks ago. They feel like they're in a really good spot. Sarah's in a good spot. And right now she's tracking down the leaders. She and Jensen Burnett working together at the moment. Burnett going purple.
Sarah Bradley, like you said, having a pretty good run here. Not a lot of girls, young lady drivers running on the full national circuit this year. She'll definitely be one that we'll be able to watch throughout the season, so we hope that she has a good run to start it off here. And like you said, strong run here in the top 10, settling things in, P6 at one point, and trying to work her way forward in the middle of a pretty good fight, because outside the top 3 drivers, you got 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, not that far apart, and you said she's right there, right on the rear bumper of Jensen Burnett, who just went purple for P5. So we got a lot of fighting still to be done for where people are going to finish inside the top 5.
Oh, a lot to be decided. That is for sure. And as the top 2 just continue to break away here with Oliver Weldon out in front over Carson Weinberg. We're seeing maybe Burnett make up enough spots to get to 3rd. Couple drivers shift back in the top 10. I don't know if we'll see any changes up in the top 2, but we might see something for P3 with our 3rd place driver in Luis Umana. Just enough out from the pack. He's out of the danger zone, but they could easily hook up, catch him. They're only about 7/10 back.
And I think you look at the drivers we have up front right now, both Oliver Weldon and Carson Weinberg. They have enough experience to realize there's no need to fight until the very end and let everybody close back in. They've got themselves a pretty nice lead, almost 1.8 seconds back to Luis Amana. It's a 2-driver fight here as long as they don't scrap it out. But you're right, 3rd and 4th, definitely not done. Jensen Burnett at 52.607, even not turning his best lap as of yet, closing in on Luis Amana. And he has both Della Vecchia and Bradley right behind him coming through here as well. I strictly believe that we're going to have a fight, Xander, for the final position on the podium before it's all said and done. Still 9 laps to go.
Yeah, still plenty of time to go here, as you mentioned. With 9 to go, we're just seeing the cross flags being given by head flagman Aaron Likens. As many already in the paddock know, we were originally set to run 22 laps for the full-size main events, 20 laps for our mini and micro divisions. That has been shortened now to 20 for the full-size, 18 for the mini and the micros, 2 laps shaved off just to make sure we get everything in before the end of the day. But that's still a lot of time to race, because that's nearly double the distance these guys ran for the pre-final, going from 10 laps to 18. So right now is where we're seeing their carts start to peak, at least the ones that are going to be there at the end of the race.
Indeed. You mentioned it. Well, obviously we had the torrential rain start of the day, so much flooding, and then of course trying to get the schedule back in, we had to cut the lunch break. We're chasing sunlight here anyways. We're trying to get it done before sunset comes. As you said, shave a couple laps off every race of all 8 races. You end up getting the time we needed to get it in before it's all said and done. But you're right. Right now is that middle point here. Now the cart should start coming in. We're going to see a lot of guys going green. Cart's getting a little lighter as you burn off some of the fuel. These Stavinco tires will last and stay steady through to the end, but it's more the cart setup was designed not to be real good in the first 10 laps, better in the last 8.
No, every bit of it. You want to make sure your tires are managed well. I mean, this typically with how much rubber can go down here, it can be a bit of a tire eater racetrack. The MG tires have held up really well for a full day of racing amongst all the classes so far. But now we're seeing it with a little bit different curbing, and they're on the ground a whole lot more than they were in the last few years.
Very true, yeah. 100% of that. And here comes the leaders again across the line. There's your battle right now there between the number 197 of Umana and Jensen Burnett and the 115, the Canadian. They run in that 3rd and 4th spots. Good racing here right now. Did Burnett go by? Or?
Yeah, I believe he did there.
Okay.
Just got off the side of the camera angle, but Jensen Burnett, we'll see in the white and red Parolin, is able to move up into 3rd. So Jensen Burnett now up the order. Or no, is that on a Kart Republic? I believe Jensen Burnett may be on a KR. Let me go back to find a little bit more.
Now, I got Parolin on live timing, but we'll have a look. We'll get a good visual when they come back around as opposed to on the camera here to fill it right in. But, yeah, it's Umana and Burnett right there. And, again, about 6/10 of a second back is Sarah Bradley. She's been able to work her way into P5. Bradley having a good run. And that's 3rd, 4th, and 5th, Xander, right there lining up. And, indeed, that is a Kart Republic. You are right for the number 115 to Jensen Burnett. But look at Bradley coming in the 114 P5.
Yeah, both of them were chipping away at that gap to Umana. Burnett looked to be a little bit quicker of the pair, but they both were closing the gap to him lap after lap, and so now we'll keep an eye on that battle, what has now become the battle for 4th, with Bradley applying pressure to Umana, and Umana might be able to pick up the pace a little bit now, following the line of Burnett and so on. As they head for turn number 5, does Bradley go? She does not. Remains behind him here in this 3-car train. We're watching 3rd, 4th, and 5th, while the top 2 on the racetrack. Oh, we got one around in front of us. The 128 Orsilon Racing Tony Kart. That's Javier Rodriguez. But he'll get back going.
Saw a number of drivers make that mistake earlier in the day, coming in the pre-final, dropping the wheel, coming off at turn number 12. Not so much here in the main events. Rodriguez able to continue. Leaders coming back by the stripe, and there is Weldon's lead. Here is 3rd, 4th, and 5th. And indeed, Sarah Bradley right there as well. She's dropped back a bit, but Burnett putting a lot of pressure on Luis Umana. You see as they come out at turn number 3 over to 4. And that is 3rd, 4th, and 5th. Umana, Burnett, and Bradley.
Yeah,
your leaders, though, out of turn number 4 as well. Weldon, Xander looking good. Getting a little bit of a gap.
Yeah, definitely a little bit of a gap here for sure. And Umana going back by on Burnett there within a lap. That was the change. Now they're fighting again. This time Burnett's through and Bradley follows. Umana to the outside. I don't think he'll get clear. Can Sarah hang on? She will. One more trying to fight her way in. Oh, Bradley's going to get put on the outside. Umana will get by. Who's that right there at the end?
Della Vecchia.
Yeah.
Well, that to me, that was looked to me like Umana got a little deep into turn number 5 and had to go way around the outside. That allowed both Burnett and Bradley to come through. Burnett cleared him enough, but just wasn't enough for Bradley to be able to hold off that big run all the way back around to turn number 9. So lots of great racing here for the final position on the podium and within the top 5. And all that fighting's brought Salvador Della Vecchia back in as well. But when the dust is settled, it's Jensen Burnett P3.
Yeah, it's definitely going to give Della Vecchia an outside shot. I'm sure he's a little bit deflated too. Of course, he was with the amount of pace he had in the pre-final to think and leading the opening lap that he would have that same level of pace here in the final. It just has not been that day here for Salvador Della Vecchia. So right now, P5 behind Umana as they go through the infield carousel. You can see Kai Johnson has now locked on behind Sarah Bradley to make it about a 6-car group from 3rd back through to 7th and 8th and maybe even 9th all the way back a little bit further. With another lap in the books this time for your leaders across the line in the top right corner of your screen. Here comes where the Hornet's Nest has been all race long, and that is from 3rd back to Keelan Harvick there at the end of the train.
Yeah, Burnett, Umana, Della Vecchia, Bradley, Johnson, Harvick. That is 3rd all the way back to 8th, and they're not that far apart. Maybe about 1.4 seconds from 3rd back to 8th position. The leaders out front, and to be honest, we haven't really picked it up in a bit here, but you can see in the top corner of your screen, Oliver Weldon with a full 2nd lead over Carson Weinberg right now. Weldon doing a great job out front and is really just stretched away with super comfortable laps as fast as Xander, a 52.4, knocking out 52.6s and 52.7s right now.
Yeah, Carson Weinberg went into tow, was able to hang on here, but he has drifted backwards significantly here. In the case of Oliver Weldon, as you mentioned, he hasn't faded off too much from his his best, and at the moment he's clocking 3 to 4 tenths quicker than the field. So very, very impressive and well put together drive in the works here for Oliver Weldon, now with just 2 laps remaining.
How about Jensen Burnett, up 9 positions, started 12th. He's worked his way to 3rd, a potential podium finish for the Canadian Burnett in that number 115. Burnett on the Kart Republic in that 3rd spot. Omana 4th and Della Vecchia 5th. And again, laps winding down, just 2 more to go for the drivers here in this mini Swift category. We'll have our Pro and Master shifter drivers on the racetrack after this. Oh, a little contact there.
That was Max Christie into the back, I believe, of Sarah Bradley just by accident. And no harm, no foul, loses a little bit of time. Oh, we got one spun here at the very end of the field. Yellow flags waving. Leaders are going to be coming soon.
Austin Warner going around here in the front straightaway. White flag, though, for Oliver Weldon with a big lead over Weinberg. Carson Weinberg in second. Everybody kind of settling in. Burnett, Umana, and Della Vecchia, a couple of kart lengths between them all. Closest battle, I think, really to watch right now would be Sarah Bradley right behind Keelan Harvick. That is for 7th. Otherwise, picking up the leaders here with Weldon and Weinberg. What a tremendous drive for Oliver Weldon right now, a guy who his participation on its own was kind of in question after an injury earlier in the week. Looks like he's got things handled right now as he leads them coming through the intersection. More racing coming now. It's that battle a little further back into turn number 5.
That's Harvick to the inside of Bradley, I believe.
Yeah,
able to get by for 7th. But we'll go back to our leader here as we try to catch the finish here. Checkered flag coming this time. Checkered flag in the air. Oliver Weldon. Final time around. Mini Swift main event winner for round 1.
Good job there for Carson Weinberg to come home P2. The final fight to the line. Luis Umana ends up coming to 3rd. What happened to Burnett? He was 3rd, fell down to 5th. Umana ends up P3. Della Vecchia in 4th. Jensen Burnett 5th. Kai Johnson 6th. Keelan Harvick outgunned Sarah Bradley at the end. Harvick 7th. Bradley 8th. Max Christia in 9th. And Gia Mateo Rosso ends up in the 10th position. Last year's Micro Swift champion, or rather Mini Swift Pro Tour champion for Rosso, ending up in the 10th position. All in all, a tremendous drive for Oliver Weldon.
Yeah, tremendous drive, as you mentioned here. We mentioned that his participation was up in question. Of course, he had a wrist injury he suffered playing earlier this week around with the kids and having fun at his age. And muscles it out, qualifies on the pole, battles for the win, wins the pre-final, wins the main event, clean sweep on the day, and a huge kudos here in the final to pull away the way he did.
And we are at the halfway point of our main events. 4 down, 4 to go. We got Pro and Master shifter to bang some gears for you here. Then Xander into the X30s with Junior, Master, and Senior to cap off what has been a great day already, considering the way we started this day with the rain. I know you guys getting up super early to figure out how you were going to handle it in treacherous conditions. We've got blue sky, everything we would like about Homestead, and some great racing so far.
No, it's a beautiful site here, obviously right across the street from the Homestead-Miami Speedway, a great partnership with AMR Motorplex, with Supercarts USA. I mean, this is an awesome team effort just to be able to bring this to all of you. Of course, liking, commenting, and sharing, joining the Kart Chaser Premium membership, all contributes to being able to do this more and more and more, so huge thanks to all of you. And of course, here, Rob on the mic, doing a great job. Our whole team's been doing a great job, and like he said, we were only halfway through the main events, 4 more to come. Pro and Master shifter after the break.
As the Western importer of the Praga and Formula K chassis brands, Leading Edge Motorsports is a high-performance kart shop and race team with a simple mission: teach others the joy of high-performance driving, supply our customers with the highest quality products and services, and most of all, win races. With our remarkable racing inventory, expert services, and top-ranked national-level team to back it up, we'll help to get your new kart racing package up and running fast. From arrive and drive service to kart preparation and driver coaching to the parts you need to get you back on the racetrack, Leading Edge Motorsports is the industry answer.
So welcome back here to Homestead-Miami Speedway. My name's Xander Clements here with Kart Chaser, here alongside Superkarts USA and eKarting News' own Rob Howden. We've got a beautiful shot of the Homestead-Miami Speedway as we were just waiting to get started with plenty more main events here. Pro and Master Shifter on. Rob and I were talking right before the break of how good the racing has been here. This track it seems to lend itself to some fantastic finishes.
I'm a big fan of this track. I always have been. I raced here myself back in 2001 when I first started running shifter karts, and I just like it. I know if you look at the track itself, you'd say, hey, not a lot to it because there's a lot of 90-degree corners, a couple of hairpins, and then the tight inner part of the racetrack. I just think it has great flow. I could come out here and just drive it and have fun. It's those fast 90-degree corners, but then you got the hairpins, you got the inner loop that just takes so much. It takes a lot to get that car to be able to roll through the inner loop, and I think that challenges the mechanics. The surface itself is obviously a challenge as well. You mentioned that sometimes it can eat some tires as well, so you have to have that set up right. There's just a lot of places to overtake, and that means for great racing, it means for great excitement as well, and we've already seen that a lot here today.
Yeah, we've seen nothing but great racing here, and again, we've seen a few drivers bite the dust a little bit, but every safety improvement this track, every time we've come back here with the SKUSA Winter Series, there's been something a little bit more, whether a turn has double barriers or more car tires to kind of cushion the blow. There's obviously the major change this year was the runoff and the curbing to take care of the drivers a little bit more. I mean, they've been constantly tuning on this place, and now the focus with the track seeming to be in a pretty good position, continuing to up the facility to the standards of its sister track like GoPro Motorplex.
Yeah, it's sort of a great place to be here. Great place to have the Winter Tour, or the Winter Series rather, and we're getting set to go here. I know the drivers in the Pro Shifter categories are getting ready to go, and this will be a good battle, I think. You see Billy Musgrave, of course, four-time Superkarts USA Super Nationals Pro Shifter race winner. He's going to battle it out with Alan Isambard, a local driver here for international racing. We saw Musgrave get a good hole shot in the pre-final from the outside of the front row, but he wasn't able to pull away at all. Isambard stayed right with him. We got Slavik Putatin as well. He'll be starting on the inside of row number 2 alongside the fastest driver so far in the Masters category, Skitchy Barnes out of Bermuda. Annie Rule will be alongside Farshad Bagari in the TB kart on row 3. Rule, of course, on the Magic Kart USA machine. Ken Schilling and Justin Salazar will be on row number 4. Johnston Irwin and Giano Torino on row number 5. 10 shifters in total across the 2 categories as we get set to roll these guys here momentarily.
Yeah, definitely. We will be excited to let them loose here, and it looks like we might be actually able to be fully set for our interview station for the final couple classes. So we'll send our Jenna Tommy here with Kart Chaser down to the grid. She's been getting a lot of information throughout the day, and she'll be able to talk to some of our X30 Juniors potentially while we are green with our Pro and Master Shifter main event. So a cool addition here to the broadcast we were able to do. Took a little bit to kind of get everything sorted. Of course, the rain definitely threw a wrench into everything, both the racing and everything else, but we're looking good. The weather's good. We got a great breeze. I mean, honestly, if you're in some shade down here, it's not bad weather at all.
I think everybody was playing catch-up, Xander, with what happened. You go to bed, you figure you're going to roll back, and you've got everything set up for the next day, and when you come back and there's about a foot or maybe 2 feet of water in your pit area, the entire crew having to look at what is a completely flooded racetrack. You mentioned the French drains here. We're literally sea level here at the track. The water's not going anywhere, so when you have something like that, everybody having to push the reset, figure things out. We didn't even start warm-up till we were supposed to be starting actually the racing. I know you guys had to deal with it as well. So much for everybody to do what they had to do to get to where we are. Shave a couple laps off, get rid of the lunch break, and we're going to find ourselves done right before the sun sets here at Homestead.
And I think it's a testament, right, to the racers and karting community. I mean, how dedicated everybody is, top to bottom, from the Superkarts USA officials, the AMR Motorplex team, and all the racers here. I mean, I don't know if I've seen a paddock with even without shoes on, as I saw this morning.
That's what
I
I heard.
I mean, when your paddock's your tent's flooded, why just get your socks wet? Do what you got to do. But hey, they worked on the karts. They made sure they were ready, and including all these guys on the racetrack here, our gearbox karts getting set to go green. One of the coolest spectacles in karting, I like to call it here, is a 125 or 175, however many cc, 6-speed gearbox class start. And of course, our Pro and Master Shifter winter training program for many of them, getting ready for New Orleans with the Superkarts USA Pro Tour, kicking things off that we should see some pretty major stuff. Farshad Bagari looks like he's got a bit of an issue, and so that's going to pull him off to the side. And I think he's lost the left front tire. Farshad Bagari's lost the left front tire, and he noticed that somehow on the grid, and And we're green.
Field set, we're underway. Indeed, green. Bagari pulled off, as we said. Hole shot goes right now to Billy Musgrave, and Putatin able to make a good run there. He comes into second, so a little bit of a rough start for Alan Isambard. Moved Putatin on that Charles Leclerc chassis up into second, and I believe that Isambard slotting into third, but not surprising to me. Billy Musgrave on the factory cart with the hole shot.
You know, Alan Isambard, obviously local driver here to AMR Motorplex, has been able to put up lap times and put pressure on Billy Musgrave every step of the way here today in the race. But it's, you know, one thing to be able to figure out running a fast lap here in a shifter. When you come to the national level, you've got to have your starts down to a T. And obviously, Billy Musgrave, 4-time Super Nationals winner, he's got it down. He'll lead lap number 1.
Indeed, we'll see whether or not Isambard can put some pressure on quickly. You saw Skitchy Barnes rolling through there. Barnes, the fastest driver so far in that Masters category, and he comes across the line, I think, in the fourth spot overall for Skitchy Barnes, but enough to put him, as I said, strongly into the lead in the Masters category. So Barnes holding on to the spot, but here's the battle potentially here. Isambard, you figure, is going to go to work quickly here on Putatin.
Right, he knows he ran just a little bit out of time in that pre-final. Came up a little bit short to Musgrave, closed up to within 0.2 of a second or less, but ran out of time. He's got more time here in the final, double the distance, but now one more spot back there in third. Like you said, he will want to make quick work here at Putatin.
And with that, Musgrave pulling away, trying to get himself some gap here early. Going to put those early laps in. Again, Musgrave driving the factory cart chassis, his own team, his own cart that he has designed himself, did all the testing on, prototyped, and designed and built. They've got this car being built in Southern California. And again, an American-made chassis in the shifter kart categories. A number of drivers will run it when we get to the Pro Tour, the Winter Nationals at NOLA. Of course, that will start off at 2022. Superkarts USA Pro Tour. That program started back in 2010. It's been a great run as a national program, and it continues to hold strong at 250, 220, 230, 240, whatever it may be, entries every race. And we've got some really good actually shifter numbers. Not so great here, Xander, this particular weekend in Florida. We don't seem to draw a lot of shifters here, but we had 50 of them at the Super Nationals. So obviously that program's strong.
No, it's very strong, and it's obviously founded on shifter kart racing when you go back to the Superkarts USA roots, especially, of course, Tom Kutcher with the Pro Kart Challenge roots as well. You know, shifter and senior, gearbox racing is the heart of SKUSA, and, you know, we've kind of been figuring that out with the new program, how to move forward past the stock Honda for this series. And, you know, I've been telling everyone, now that they've kind of been figuring out a way to get the KZ into the program to allow it to run, it's still kind of like a first full year. You know, this is the first time we come down to the Winter Series, and they're even on weights and so on and so forth. And I think by the time we get to New Orleans, with all the hype behind it, with everything kind of all settled and sorted, we'll be looking at easily 20-plus fields in Pro Shifter, and probably the same in Masters.
I 100% agree with you. It's just a Winter Series. People haven't picked it up for the Winter Series. I just say it never has been since the very get-go. But again, we'll watch how things dial in. Leading the way in the Masters category still right now is Skitchy Barnes. But we'll catch up here on the leader. Billy Musgrave rolling down here into turn number 4. Here's 5. Double back-to-back straightaways. You can see the lead right now. Putatin still able to hold off Alan Isambard, even though Isambard turned his fastest lap last time by a 47.150. Both those drivers very content to sit second and third, but it's Musgrave now 0.6 out, went purple last time by a 46.9, the only driver to get below the 47s thus far.
Yeah, definitely quick. I mean, it's not like he's pulling away massively, you know. 46.9 that time, able to get bested. Putatin able to go a little bit quicker. Yeah. Alan Isambard a little bit quicker. I mean, they're all just kind of holding station.
Indeed. Musgrave not able to back. Well, actually, he backs it up. He turns it almost identical time, went 0.02 of a second faster. It was Putatin who was able to go significantly quicker than his fast time, got down to a 46.856. Alan Isambard was actually quicker than Billy Musgrave as well. The gap between the top 3 drivers, 0.8 of a second. And again, Putatin has closed up here on Musgrave. Look how close he is there to the number 203. Big run here for Putatin in the Charles Leclerc chassis. Very good run here for Slavik Putatin in number 265. Lots of pressure here now. Top 3, as we said, 0.7 apart, and another fast lap for Putatin. It goes purple again. Putting on big pressure on Billy Musgrave. The top three drivers, John Torino started at the very tail of the field, 2.7 seconds back. Amy Rule, P5. Justin Salazar, 6. It's Skitchy Barnes over Ken Schilling and Johnston Irwin in the Master Shifter category. Barnes was a point battling it out with Salazar, but he has the run to himself right now, currently 7th overall.
Well, let's see. Now that we've gone through the field and we've kept our focus still at the front while we continue to watch the leaderboards go around. Billy Musgrave over Slavik Putin's gap. Again, chipped away just ever so slightly. 400ths give the advantage to Putin that time by. As they work their way through 2 and 3, they'll head towards the back turn number 4.
Oh, problems here for Skitchy Barnes in the front straightaway.
Oh, no.
We'll try to pick up Barnes. Indeed, there he is. Barnes coming to a stop on the front straight. Slowly rolling down. The engines could totally shut off. So that'll be it for Barnes down in turn number 1. He was leading the Masters category, but an issue for Skitchy Barnes. Not sure what happened to Barnes, but done in turn 1. We'll continue to get back to the battle here up front, though, between Billy Musgrave and Putin. Musgrave stretching out just a little bit of an advantage here now, so a pretty good run at this point here for Musgrave. Consistent lap times, as we've talked about, a 46.883. Now, Musgrave just turned his best lap, 46.675. Not even to the halfway point. 8 laps down, 12 still to go in a 20-lapper for Billy Musgrave, who leads over Slavik Putin.
Well, we're going to send it on down while we continue to monitor the battle here on the screen. Argenta Tommy has caught up with one of the top contenders here, lining up for X30 Junior, Sebastian Weldon, down on the grid.
All right, I am here with Sebastian Weldon. Is that how you pronounce your last name? Weldon, yeah. And he is lined up for his X30 Junior race, but we pulled him out so he could talk to you. So, Sebastian, how's your weekend going?
It's going good. Had a bit of crashes in the warm-up and the quali, but managed to get good speed in the pre-final.
Good speed in the pre-final. So, what are you looking forward to in the final? Where are you starting?
I'm starting second. Hopefully I could get a good start and pull with Max.
So you have a brother. What's your brother's name?
Oliver.
Oliver. Have you guys ever raced against each other?
Once.
When was it? And who came out on top?
I came out on top.
Attaboy. You have a TV show or a big camera crew following you. What's that for?
Netflix.
A Netflix series. Can you tell us anything about it?
It's kind of like a documentary almost.
That's sick. Awesome. Well, what are you looking forward to, or how do you think you're going to end up in the final, or what's something you're nervous for?
Just to get a good start and then get first.
You got it. All right, you guys heard it first from Sebastian Weldon. Have a good race, Sebastian. Yeah.
Well, there you have it, Xander. Sebastian Weldon wants to go for the win. I like it. Good job there with Jenna. And yeah, you know what? Both those drivers have stepped up. We've watched them over the last couple of years get better and better. They were, club drivers, then regional racers, and really have become kind of stalwarts at the front of the grids and racing for race wins nationally now.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, Sebastian's obviously had a great run today, and just like we talked with his brother Oliver, I don't want to keep throwing Sebastian under the bus, but it was a pretty gnarly wreck he had in the morning warm-up session earlier just before he went live on streaming. So he's had a really strong day. The JC karting team all across the board has had a lot of speed. Max Schweid's been good. Both the Weldon brothers have been really fast, so it's been really impressive to see them. As we watch here, Billy Musgrave, while we went dark for the interview, has started to pull that gap back out on Slavik Putin and really make this one all about himself here in the final.
Yeah, he put down a 46.612 on lap number 9, and it really has backed that up, a 46.6 again on lap number 11. He's really settled in and been comfortable as the race leader. It's a 1-second lead now for Billy Musgrave. Slavik Putin, who was really good out of the gate and had some purple lap times early, finds himself now down here in the second spot, but just not able to have that pace he needed. He was very close there, a 46.7 a couple laps ago, but a 47.1 last time by for Putin, with Isambard trying to put that pressure on. You can see Musgrave very comfortable there, working his way onto the front straightaway. Good run here again for him. There's the back gap between first and second. 0.8 of a second now as Putin back down to a 46.8. This time Musgrave goes in the wrong direction with a 46 flat. Less than a second now. The gap between first and second. Musgrave getting pointed by, coming out of turn number 4 over to turn number 5. Be a little bit of a check up there for Alan Isambard. Saw the issue with Skitchy Barnes, trouble going down the front straightaway. Not sure what happened to Barnes there, but nonetheless, laps winding down here for Billy Musgrave. 8 laps still remaining, and Musgrave is your leader by 0.8 of a second. But Xander, as I just said, he went in the wrong direction on that last lap. He was running some pretty consistent 46.6s. I don't know if he's just letting off, but he did a 47 flat, back down to 46.7. Maybe playing with a little bit.
He's toying with him, man. He's toying with him. 4-time Super Nats champ. You know, at this point, he's just having a blast. So, he's just messing around. You know, Billy Musgrave, he's driving all the way out here from California, wants to make it worthwhile, have himself a good time, enjoy Miami, and then obviously race some go-karts here. And he's doing a little bit of both. But definitely, I think he might have just been messing around a little bit. Or maybe, you know, he's human. He could have made a mistake.
True enough. Here's a guy that could be running in the Masters category as well, 30 years of age.
Yeah.
For Billy Musgrave, is still one of the top shifter kart drivers in the country, manufacturing his own chassis as well, the factory kart, 4-time SKUSA champion, as we've talked about at the Super Nationals. Trying to hold back. Slavik Putatin, a driver who continues to put the pressure on. He just turned his fast lap of 46.626. Only a half a second now between first and second with 6 laps to go. The departure of Skitchy Barnes has put Ken Schilling P1 right now. Schilling the leader in the 621 in the Masters category. So Schilling out front, but watching here, Billy Musgrave hold that spot as Putatin on the Charles Leclerc chassis. Staying right there, only a half a second back. They've got enough of a gap to Alan Isambard. Gianno Torino back in that 4th spot in that category, 3.5 seconds behind Isambard. I don't know that we're done yet. We'll keep watching lap times. 6 laps to go. Musgrave and Putatin both turning lap times down in the mid 47s.
Yeah, I mean, hard to say. You know, it's not like they have to leave anything on the table for tomorrow. You know, they're going to get a whole new set of tires. Yeah. Nothing really we worry about the motor here of driving it normally for the last 5 to 6 laps. So the fact Musgrave's kind of having that gap rubber band a little bit, open up and then close back and open up again, it leaves you to wonder what may be going on a little bit with the factory car driver. But then again, like we said, it could be Billy playing with him a little bit and at least making it somewhat interesting for us to call and talk about. For Slavik Putatin and for sure for Alan Isambard, you know, these are notes they could take from yesterday or take from today into tomorrow when today becomes yesterday, because they're going to get a close look at Billy Musgrave on a 20-lap run. This is the longest session these guys have run all week.
Yeah,
you know, we haven't run anything even close to half as long. Even the practices, at best, you only get 7 or 8 laps around AMR Motorplex. So a full 20-lap final, they're really getting to see both how their pieces react and where they might be missing a little bit from the driver up front in the factory kart number 203.
Yeah, with 4 laps to go, we're going to see which drivers have the pace late in the run here as well. Who has a kart that continue to get better through an entire 20-lap run. We've still got 3 more races for you here on Kart Chaser. We've got X30 classes lined up with Junior, Master, and of course the big dogs in X30 Senior, the pro show at the end of the day to cap things off here. 3 more races for you. Right now, Billy Musgrave is going to slide by your leader in the Masters class, Ken Schilling. He's going to let them all roll through, coming down the back straight for Schilling. And again, Musgrave a 46.7. Putatin 46.7, Isambard 46.9. It's a 0.6 of a second lead. But again, as we said, X30 classes coming up next. The X30 Juniors will put on a show in this next race as we're capping things off. Chasing the sun, as we said, after some issues here this morning with some torrential rain. Everyone having to dial things in. We pushed off the start about an hour. Got rid of the lunch break. We're cutting a couple laps, just shaving a little bit off the main events to try to get some more time. We'll get this day in, and we'll get a bunch of very deserving winners before we go to the podium.
Yeah, no doubt. We'll definitely get this day all the way in here. I mean, it's been smooth up until this point. You know, we haven't really seen any major wrecks down in turn number 1. We haven't seen any major, crashes all around the racetrack. A few drivers going wide and biting the dust in turn 12. Here and there, a few little bits of carnage. KA Senior, definitely some carnage.
Very true.
But no red flags, no massive flips. I mean, nothing crazy to this point. And like you said, still 3 races to go, but that's made it possible here. So a big bit of cooperation, not just with SKUSA, not just with the track team, not just with everyone getting the karts ready, but the drivers behaving themselves so far today to get all the racing in.
You're right. 1 red flag, and it was going to mess everything up for us, right? So we know we got a couple laps still. Hopefully nothing will happen, but there are opportunities that the drivers have been good and have made sure that we're still here running. No stoppages in play, which has been great. I will say this, Slavik Putatin just went purple again, trying to close himself back up here. Putatin a 46.599 last time by. and he is not that far back. It's still about a half a second. This time Musgrave a little quicker, but Billy did have a look over his shoulder there just to see how close Putinton was. You never know if he's got a little bit more. We may see a couple of purple laps. Look at this. Xander Putinton's within a length.
Yeah, he's letting them get close there. Billy's definitely putting on a show here for the fans and everybody watching. He'll back it up right to Putinton, allow him to get close. He wants to make it exciting. You know, again, Billy Musgrave's got a lot of checkered flags. He's giving Putinton a good shot. He almost got by there in the carousel, not able to do it as they head to the back section again.
Checkered flag in the hands of our starter, Aaron Likens. Musgrave trying to get through the last couple of corners. Putinton tried to dig in deep, but I don't think it's going to be enough. Out of turn number 12 to win the first Pro Shifter race. It's Billy Musgrave, an American-made factory cart. He'll take the win over Slavik Putinton. Putinton with fast lap of the race. Alan Isambard ends up in the third spot. Giano Torino, I believe, going to come home here in the fourth spot. Annie Rule and Justin Salazar next to come through. Here comes Annie Rule. She'll get fifth. Justin Salazar in sixth. Ken Schilling winning in the Masters category over Johnston Irwin. Skitchy Barnes out on lap number 7. Billy Musgrove, though, with the win. Doesn't get the fast lap. Gets down to a 47.391. His fast lap of 46.6. 47.3 in the final circuit. Slavik Putinton within 0.3 of a second at the line. Xander at the end, 46.599. Putinton with the fast lap of the race.
Yeah, kept it interesting there at the end, and like you said, fast lap of the race for Slavik Putinton, so that's obviously a good bit of confidence to take into tomorrow if he can kind of keep the consistency both for himself on the lap time and make sure that the cart can be a little more consistent throughout the run. He could be looking for a really, really good run here tomorrow. For Alan Isambard, I don't know what's happened here on the final lap, but he is stranded over in the infield at turn at number 5, and he's going to be riding the cruiser on into the scale line. For whatever the reason is, we will be headed here to X30 Junior action after the break, so stick with us, folks. Kart Chasers coverage of round 1 of the SuperKarts USA Winter Series rolls on here. The X30 Juniors set to come after the break. USA, a top-level performance team with unmatched hospitality, offering a full-service driver development program with year-round testing available in Miami, Florida, and the official North America racing team of Parolin Racing Chassis. Chassis and parts available at ParolinUSA.com. If you're looking for top-grade equipment, look no further than Rev Performance Materials engine mounts, sprockets, and arcade chains. Available online now at RevPerformanceMaterials.com and through a dealer near you. The highest quality material, built to the highest quality standards. Rev Performance Materials.
Welcome back to live coverage of the SuperKarts USA Winter Series, the opening weekend here at Homestead. Firing things up and getting ready to go with our, what is this? I guess our sixth race of the day. X30 Junior will be getting ready to roll out here. Good field of drivers in the X30 category. Brought to you by Speed Lab Racing Engines. Again, Rob Howden alongside Xander Clemens and the whole crew. Jenna Tommy on pit lane as well, doing a couple of reports for us there, doing a couple of interviews. We'll leverage that more throughout the weekend. Max Garcia starting on the pole position alongside Sebastian Weldon, who talked with Jenna here in the last race. Cooper Beasley and Mateus Orjuela will be on row number 2. Caleb Gaffera, winner already today in KA 100 Junior. He'll start 5th alongside Michael Costello. Costello was the top driver in qualifying. Salim Hanna and Aiden Ingrata on row 4. Stephen Miller alongside Jakob Kolar in row number 5. Teddy Musella and Leonardo Scorpioni. Get it right, Rob. João Vigueira and Julian DaCosta on row number 7. Diego Ardiles and Max Taylor on row number 8. Enzo Vidmontian, last year's Pro Tour champion in the Mini Swift category, starting 17th alongside Beckham Yassir. Then we'll have Chase Buscaglia and Isaac De Silva, Noah Rosser and G3 Argyros. I talked to him about that earlier. I got to get it right. I've been saying Argyros for about 2 years. It's Argyros, I believe. We'll get it right. Field set, folks. Time to go racing. Into the lines for X30 Junior. Green, green, green. And into turn number 1. Been good so far. We'll see what they do coming through turn number 2 and 3. Garcia able to get the whole shot and cleanly outside that corner. Nice job for Garcia to get through cleanly. Otherwise stacking it up. A couple drivers up on the curb to the inside of turn number 4. I like that move. Anything to get through cleanly and to get down to the hairpin in the right spot. Sebastian Weldon slotting into that second position. Here's your full field coming through turn number 5 over to 6. Now the drivers coming out of turn number 9, first time through the box of turn 10 and 11. Xander, pretty good start, pretty good opening lap for Max Garcia.
Great opening lap here for Garcia and the top 3 altogether, because they've got over a second back to Caleb Gaffera. Weldon and Orjuela, as you mentioned right there. Everyone makes it through turn 12 cleanly. Again, just another clean start through turn number 1 at X30 Junior, which has been notorious for one of the worst classes when it comes to starts. And these kids, they've been behaving all day.
I agree with you. It's been a bit of a surprise. A pleasant surprise at that, though. We do have a 3-driver breakaway right now, though. You can see them all settling in. It's a great run there for Max Garcia. He, Weldon, and Orjuela out to a 3-driver breakaway. Almost a full second and a half back to Caleb Gaffera the last time across the stripe. I believe Gaffera from 5th up to 4th in the opening circuit. But a lead trio stretching out early, and not surprising. Again, with the complexity of the double apex left-hander start, if you're through cleanly, everybody else can kind of get checked up behind a little bit. It's all about getting through those first couple of corners. If you're down to turn number 4 and can get out of 4, Xander, without anybody doing a dive bomb or a slide job, you're really well positioned for the opening couple of laps.
For sure. I mean, when you get to turn 6, 7, and 8, if you get to there and then all the way back to the back 90s, you can just kind of drive your line, But if you're involved in a scuffle in 4, it goes all the way to turn number 5. It goes all the way side by side to turn number 9. And then before you know it, you're down 2 seconds to the next group in front of you. So for these top 3, obviously, great start for all of them. Max Garcia leading the way over Weldon and Orjuela. No one really making any big changes or challenges for the lead. And that's allowed them to just continue to build on that gap and really warm those tires up in the right way without getting any crud or marbles on them. So as they head down the backstretch here, we'll put 2 laps in the books. Garcia, Weldon about a half cart length back.
Yeah, we always wonder how these drivers will handle these opening couple of laps. Is a mindset that I've got to go to the lead, or do you have the patience enough to stay in P2 and say, you know what, I'm good to go? Well, Sebastian Weldon just kind of hang there. Now, first and foremost, you got to make sure you can hang, because if that driver is quicker than you up front, you may have to go to the lead to potentially hold them back. You don't want them to be able to pull away from you.
You definitely don't here. While we continue to watch this battle, we're also going to try and go side by side and give you guys a look here. Our Jenna Tommy has caught up with our X30 Senior Pro pre-final winner, Alessandro De Tullio, and he is with her right now down on the grid, getting set to chat with her a little bit before his main event coming up later today.
If you want to throw it.
So again, we'll just send it down here to Jenna Tommy. She is ready with Alessandro De Tullio down on the grid. Jenna, you got us down there on the grid. Jenna Tommy with Alessandro De Tullio trying to see if we got it. We got our battle on the top.
Hi, I'm here with Alessandro De Tullio, and he was P1 in our pre-final. Alessandro, how's your weekend going?
It's been a tough weekend overall, but I think we found some pace today. We had a tough pre-final at the beginning, dropping back to 6, and then we made up some spots and we were able to secure pole position for the final.
So this is your home track, right?
Yeah, it's my home track.
Have you raced? How do you feel about the new setup with all the new curbs in the grass?
I think it's definitely changed the track a lot. You can't just hop over the curbs and, go flat out through 10, 11, and 12. So it's definitely changed the track. I haven't had much testing with the track like this, so yeah, I had to get used to it too, just like everyone else.
So it's a learning experience for everyone. What are some of the things that you've had to change when you're driving on this track?
Sorry, I didn't hear.
Oh, it's funny. Of course, again, these guys are trackside right now. So
what are some of the things you've had to change about your driving on this track now that it's different?
Well, I'm usually a curb guy, so I like to hop the curbs, and so I've had to adapt, and I had to adapt my driving style, be more smooth, be more round more of the corners, not just dive in and go flat out. So yeah, I've had to adapt for sure.
What are you focusing on in this final? What's your biggest challenge you got to overcome to consistently stay pole the whole race?
I think I just have to. I think I saved the tires quite well in the pre-final. So the goal is going to be to have a good start and then, try to manage a gap, try to build a gap, and then manage it from there.
All right. Well, good luck in the final. Thanks for talking with us.
Thank you.
All right, we'll focus back on in here, Rob. Luckily, Max Garcia and Sebastian Weldon, they played nice. They didn't battle it while we were going to interview. We kept that, of course, in the top right corner of your screen, but nothing's changed, at least on the front side of your X30 Junior field. Garcia, about a cart-length cushion it kind of opens up to, but he's not getting away.
I think they're doing what a lot of parents and tuners and mechanics would hope would happen. Don't race each other. Just work together. Pull away. We can do this. You start the race off, race it against the full field. You got 30-something guys you're going head-to-head with. If all goes well in the opening corner, it could be just 3 guys in the lead group. Right now, they got to watch out for a couple of guys that are coming on strong, trying to work their way forward. Aiden Andrade's got a lot of speed right now. He just went purple. He's P4. But those guys working out front together, now they're only racing each other. Now they're only racing 2, 3, 4 guys, not the entire field. So a really good run thus far for the guys up front. And I'm loving the patience of Sebastian Weldon running P2.
No, a lot of patience. He's done a great job here. Again, he also, of course, Sebastian and Oliver, they live in St. Petersburg, Florida. They race Max Garcia a lot. They've raced each other all the way through mini on the regional level and national level. So they know, they can trust the driver they're running around to be quick and to run a good line. And as we watch them come around here, it looks like Argenta Tommy is also caught up with Thomas Neveau of the Trinity Karting Group. So we'll be seeing to send it down to her here in just a moment. There she is, right down and ready.
Thank you. And he is starting second in the X30 Senior Final. Thomas, how's your weekend going?
It's going pretty good. I had a rough qualified 7 on a bit damp track, but we did a great pre-final going to first and just missing out on winning by finish second. So I think we have some good pace and we'll be able to fight for the win in the final for sure.
Have you raced here before?
Yeah, since 2013 I've been here every year. So.
How do you feel about the new track layout with the grass and the curbs?
It's good for track limits with the grass, but I liked it better before we could up some curbs.
What's been your biggest challenge this weekend, something that you had to overcome?
I think the weather has been changing a lot, so we had some rain this morning and now the sun's back out, but with a different track, track's not the same as yesterday, so we've got to do some things on the kart, but it feels good right now.
So most of the tents were flooded. Was the Trinity tent super flooded too?
Yeah, a bit flooded.
So going into this final, what's something you're really focusing on?
I think just staying in the top 3 for the whole race, and then in the last five laps, just trying to get to the lead.
Well, good luck, and thanks for talking to us at Kart Chaser.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right, back onto the racetrack here. Max Garcia, since we've been away, kind of eked out a little bit more on us, Rob.
Yeah, definitely a good run here early on. Again, once you get past that second half, who's got the kart that's going to get better and better, right? We saw it being super tight up front. Max Garcia's been good, went to the point really early, and has just settled into the rhythm, right? It's the veteran drivers who know the track, getting into the rhythm. I'd love to talk to some of the juniors about hammering the curbs as well. Of course, their karts are a little lighter. Both guys we talked to, both Tulio and Nepfu, I miss hitting the curbs. I miss hammering the curbs. There are a lot of guys we talked to that end up hurting ribs when they do that, but here's 2 young guns that are like, no, let me hammer the curb some more. I like it this way better. I think it's more racecraft as opposed to really beating the crap out of a chassis.
No, I think it does do a lot. Obviously, on the club level in terms of budget, it's great that these guys can get a little more longevity when they're racing here for the local level for sure. There is definitely a finesse and challenge to hitting the curb in a right way. Obviously, not everyone can hit a curb like Danny Formal, both with build and just with finesse, because he does it all the time. I think all the drivers, when they get to a certain level, if they have a good setup, they have a good seat, they have good safety protection, they like any kind of different challenge. That's why guys like that love the rain. It's why guys like, love going to different tracks. At least when we go to New Orleans, there's plenty of curbs to hit down in NOLA Town. So as we look back to the front, though, one other thing that did come up was that Aiden Ingrata, who has now just gone by Matias Orwela for third, as we were talking about him here, he has closed in on this leading group. He'd been closing in during those two interviews. We hadn't mentioned him much because we mentioned that Caleb Gaffera was initially fourth out of the gate, but Aiden Ingrata, I said he had silly levels of speed in the pre-final. He's got it again. He's up to third, Rob, and he's not far back from these two out front.
That's exactly that. He is not that far back, and he is hungry for sure for Ingrata in the Speed Concepts racing machine. The Canadian driver ready to dig in and work his way back forward. Max Garcia, your leader. Sebastian Weldon in second, but Aiden Ingrata coming to make it fun here up front. We could have ourselves a three-driver fight before it's all said and done. 8 laps still remaining, and you wonder whether or not Weldon's going to be able to show that patience the whole time, knowing that Ingrata is coming as quick as he is. Leaders at turn number 5 to the inner loop now. This is that 7-8 corner leading back to turn number 9. Garcia had a bit of a lead early. It's long gone now as Sebastian Weldon locked back into it. That midway gap that Garcia had stretched, that cushion that he'd been able to develop, has disappeared, and Weldon right there with him again. Look how close Aiden Ingrata is behind as well. Last time, over a second now, just 9/10, 2/10 quicker than Weldon. So make it 9/10 back. He was 2/10 faster, 7 laps to go. Lots of time for Ingrata to get in the middle of this fight for the race win. We'll have the drivers at X30 Master up next. X30 Master drivers, you see a couple there. We got a bit of carnage in turn number 5 that was cleared by the time the drivers have been able to work their way through. Garcia still leading. Great patience right now here out of Weldon, as they both continue to run 1-2 with Ingrata, just as I said, a little less than a second behind. Both these drivers, though, laying down great lap times. Really very close to their quickest laps. Garcia, he's about 4/10 off. Weldon, the same, about 4/10 off. Another 2/10 for Ingrata. Xander cutting it down to now 7/10 of a second. Seems like 2/10 a lap. Still 6 laps to go. No doubt about it, Aiden Ingrata is going to be part of the discussion for a race win before we're all said and done.
He's going to be there. I mean, we talked about the patience of Sebastian Weldon being a virtue. I think it could very well be a curse, because if he waits too long and Ingrata gets there, he'll be third very quickly. You'll see with some of the great drivers that become really good at pushing and being in Weldon's place is they wait till they manage that gap, both in front of them, obviously staying on that driver's bumper, but the driver behind closing in up until they're almost to the point they could get past, and that's when they pass for the lead.
Yeah.
So
then you can handle the guy behind,
yes.
right?
Yeah, you throw them. As soon as the wolf pack gets you, then you throw your other buddy to the wolf.
It's that whole line about when you're getting chased by a lion, you have to be fast. You go, I only have to be faster than you.
Yes.
That's exactly what it is, right?
That is exactly it.
So let's see if Weldon pulls the trigger here pretty soon. He's been sitting there like he's got enough pace. But again, we'll see what happens here. We're about 5 laps from the end of this one. And I think this is one of those races that you're building up to the climax, right? The crescendo continues to develop. You know something's coming. You can feel that it's happening. Everybody kind of just turning the pages slowly but surely. But eventually you got to get to the climax of the storyline, and we're going to have it here pretty soon. Ingrata, again, last time by a 10th quicker. It's down to 6/10 of a second. Aiden Ingrata is coming, and he's got nobody behind him. Matias Orwela has fallen off, so Ingrata doesn't have to worry about anybody behind him either. He'll be full defensive for Ingrata once he gets to the lead duo.
Yeah, Aiden Ingrata has just been on go mode since the drop of the green flag. I mean, he's picked up a number of spots, in the pre-final. Not a great qualifying run. Could you imagine what today would look like if he would have qualified inside the first 3 rows? I mean, he might be gone by 3 or 4 seconds right now, and that's not just blowing smoke. I mean, he really has carved his way up the field, and a stout field at that. You talk Max Garcia, Sebastian Weldon, front runners from 2021 who have won races and have run up front against the likes of Jeremy Fletcher and Carson Morgan. I mean, it's still just as talented as last year, and Aiden Ingrata making it look easy getting right to their rear bumper.
So what does that say for tomorrow? If Ingrata knows he is this fast, do you throw it all into this one here if you can't make a pass, knowing you could dominate tomorrow potentially, right? If you're thinking championship, maybe you take a little different approach. But when you're a racer like this at this age, you want to win races. He's going to get aggressive, I think.
Right. See, that's the thought that a lot of guys don't have maybe until they get towards the the end of senior, and even then, it takes kind of throwing a race weekend away by junking your chassis here on Saturday and knowing you've got no good piece here on Sunday. I mean, I can tell you right now that SKUSA Pro Tour where we had 70-something entries in X30 Senior at Summer Nats. I had a decent qualified, I don't know, about 40th overall, so I started 20th in the heat, got up to about 11th, drove the heck over Nick Bruckner, junked the go-kart, had to start last in the LCQ, missed the main by like 3 spots, and the next day the kart was terrible because I already totaled it from the wreck on the first day. So it was one of those, I was so fast, I didn't know what to do with it. I honestly was thinking to myself, I was like, these are fast guys, like really fast guys, I mean, this is Nick Bruckner, right, where he was at a great point. I mean, there were a bunch of others that I was getting through into the top 10 in a Pro Tour field that deep. So now that we see Ingrata going by Weldon didn't end up throwing Garcia to him. I don't know if he watched that gap close enough or not, but they're still really close to Garcia. I mean, they're only 2 kart lengths away.
Yeah, this is big right now for Ingrata. We talked about Weldon potentially pulling the trigger, and he was there. The lion in the example is Ingrata, and obviously the first guy to get caught was Weldon. He did not get by Garcia. He's back to P3. That's going to be the best he finishes unless we see something crazy happen. Although I will say this, I think we're going to see the 1 to go this next time by. Does Ingrata have enough here in the final circuit? White flag flying for Aiden Ingrata. He may need a little bit of help here. They'll work their way down to turn number 1. It's about 3 kart lengths out of 1 over to 2. Is it too little, too late, Xander, for Aiden Ingrata?
He's going to have to be absolutely perfect here, Rob. Let's go to turn number 4. Closes in deep on the brakes there. Had kind of a bobble in the center of the corner, but it still looked okay. But Garcia's able to take a normal line. He seems pretty calm and collected. 2 car lengths, opens up to 2.5, headed into 7 and 8, final time. Max Garcia, home turf. Oh man, what a dive by Ingrata for the lead. He's got it, Rob. Wow.
Got the speed through the double apex right-hander, stuck it to the inside of turn number 9. Ingrata's taking the lead. He'll go defensive. Here comes Weldon as well. Do we have contact in the final corner? A little bit of contact indeed. He's off the corner. Weldon's going to win it. Weldon wins. Contact between Ingrata and Garcia. Garcia to the back of Ingrata. Pushed him off the racetrack on the exit of turn number 12. Weldon does the over-under, and can you believe it? Back-to-back jacks for the Weldon family as they both win. Ingrata shuffled off the racetrack on the outside of turn number 12.
Spectacular fashion right there, Rob. A bump and run to tip by Max Garcia. The stuff you won't necessarily see without the pushbacks. I saw instantly 3 different SKUSA officials go hand to radio on that one.
Right.
Didn't need any cameras for that. Everybody was watching that finish.
That's
Spectacular finish. Did you hate it for Ingrata? But what a show.
Aiden Ingrata put on a move in turn number 9. Got a great run through the double rights. Able to get a good run of that corner and stuffed it down into the inside. That, of course, then ruined the exit out at turn number 9. Brought Weldon back into the discussion. All the way down the back straightaway. It was Ingrata hold the inside. Garcia locked himself on the rear bumper. A little bit of push through the apex to the apex of that corner. Ingrata goes 4 wheels off. Weldon must have been sitting there going, what just happened? He dives down the inside, straight run, unencumbered. He takes the race win. I love it.
Hey, I'll give credit to Weldon. He at least remembered in the whole holy wow moment to put his hand in the air and fist bump across the line.
Indeed.
But man, that was something wild for sure. So again, More racing like that still to come. That was the juniors. That's not even to our final show, which should be wild. They had a crazy pre-final. Your X30 Seniors still to come. First up, though, the X30 Masters are lining onto the grid. Again, we're going to take a commercial break on all your platforms, whatever you're listening or watching on. Stick with us, folks, here. It is almost sunset hour here in Homestead-Miami, and it's almost time to get our final two shows underway.
Kart Store USA is a kart parts supplier that racers and retailers can count on when they need reliable advice and service. We focus on servicing all racers with honesty and pride while maintaining customer satisfaction. We carry a full stock of Kart Republic and Tony Kart chassis, as well as IAMI and Vortex Rock engines. We've also got a host of other parts available and in stock, such as products from Rev Performance Materials, Jekko Racing Seats, and more. We have a 100% satisfaction guarantee, and on top of that, if your order exceeds $200, shipping is on us. Check out all we have to offer today by visiting us online at kartstore-usa.com.
We are back live here at Homestead-Miami for the first rounds of this year's SuperKarts USA Winter Series. What a race we just had there in the X30 Junior category. They went at it in the final circuit. Aiden and Grada battling it out with Max Garcia, but a tremendous win for Sebastian Weldon, who kind of saw it all happening and took advantage of the contact to push both those drivers off the outside of turn number 12. X30 Masters is going to be next up. Xander, we'll put a synopsis, like kind of a wrap on that last race. What a wild finish coming down the straightaway. I thought we were going to get maybe an over-under for Max Garcia. I wasn't counting on the bump and run.
No, I don't think I was either. And I was thinking about it during the commercial break, Rob, that, a bump and run like that in the past, just like how we talked about hanging on the outside, Ingrata would have popped the outside curb, ran wide, run to the barrier, been fine. He gets dropped into the mud sucks him all the way to the outside, obviously slows the car down. Garcia ends up going out because he had to shove him so hard to get out there, and then, they both end up wide and Weldon goes by. So wild finish. Definitely one of the highlights we're going to have coming out of today and this weekend. Let's go, though, to the starting lineup here for X30 Master Main.
The Masters category brought to you by the Rawlison Performance Group. Luis Schiavo starting on the front row alongside Mario Barrios. Michelle Garrido and Lucas Iglesias will be on row 2. Dan Breitenstein and Fernando Aguayo on row number 3. Danilo Ramalho and Ruben Rovello on row 4. Field coming into the staging lanes and the green flag flying. We are racing in the Master category for X30. Clean and green through the opening couple of corners here right now. And again, that run out of turn number 3 down to turn number 4. We'll see how it all plays out when we get through this first hairpin of the back-to-back 180s we have here. Good start here, and to the inside, Look at this. Barrios trying to figure out a way through. That's the 546 of Luis Schiavo. He gets the lead early, and who is that up into second?
That's going to be Michel Garrido right behind him. Barrios did not get a good start. He is down to 4th behind Breitenstein.
Indeed.
Just ahead of one of the other Alessandro's Racing USA entries. That's just off your screen, though. Again, the top 2 right now we're watching. Luis Schiavo down the back, and right behind him, Michel Garrido pushing him to complete lap number 1. So big-time shakeup. Your reigning number 1 plate holder, Mario Barrios, outside the top 3.
Yeah, and he fell back behind Iglesias. They got to go to work here now to get themselves back forward. And again, good start, though, for Luis Schiavo, who started on the pole, able to get through turn 1 cleanly, and of course those opening couple of corners settling in nicely. Schiavo in the number 546, your leader here in X30 Master. A little bit of brake turn there, getting it to slide around. Both drivers settling in for the opening couple of laps. Long way to go, as we know, with the main events here. Just one more final to cap off today. We've been chasing sunlight since we got things rolling here this morning. We got the X30 senior drivers on the grid, and I'll tell you, looking forward to that one. This is going to be a good one here. Looks like a potential 2-driver battle, unless we see a couple more coming into the fight. But I'll tell you, Xander, X30 senior, that's going to have everybody on the fence.
Oh, it's going to have everybody on the fence. And our Jenna Tommy is working on trying to get a word with Sebastian Weldon, our race winner, and as well with a number of other contenders in X30 Senior, so you can meet them. And I told her, I said, you know, and you know this as well, Rob, anyone can win inside that top 10 or even deeper. I mean, we've seen guys win at Supernats outside the top 20. Marco Maestranzi a few years ago. Yeah. And that field is just, it's always so packed with talent, you know?
Agreed.
It's a matter of who just maybe drives it right, set up right, engine right, and that's 5 guys. And then one out of those 5 gets a little bit lucky and gets the win.
And with the way the day is developed, with the different qualifying session, the way the track is developed, right? And everybody's got a different storyline within the race, how they've been kind of coming up. Hey, I might have had a really good run in the pre-final. You didn't talk about me in qualifying, but here I am in the pre-final. We found something, and a guy could come, like you said, from 15th and all of a sudden be in the fight for the race win.
Right. I mean, there have been a lot of comers and goers throughout the day. You know, obviously one storyline to watch when we get to that X30 Senior main event, Jeremy Fletcher. We're going to try and get a word with him as well. Rolls off tail end Charlie after having an issue, a mechanical failure on the opening lap of the pre-final, and he has just not had what should have been a great opening day. Obviously was involved in a crazy on-track skirmish with Cole Morgan in the KA Senior Final that ended in a DNF, and now here for X30 Senior, he's just going to be trying to make up for lost ground. For X30 Master, at least, no real change, though. Barrios was able to get by Breitenstein. He's starting to close in on the top 2. You just see the bright navy colors and purple and pink of the RPG Cosmic of Mario Barrios into your picture a little bit more and more as Schiavo and Garrido remain first and second, but now only about 6 car lengths back to Barrios in third.
If you're watching live timing, you'll see that Luis Schiavo not coming up, so an issue with his transponder. Otherwise, Garrido running second, Barrios third, Iglesias fourth, and Danilo Ramalho rounding out the top 5. Schiavo very comfortable up front, a veteran driver who knows how to lead races, and at this point here early on in what will be a 20-lapper, a long way to go still, just 4 down and 16 to go, just at the quarter mark now of this particular race. And again, I like the patience we're seeing out of Michel Garrido running their P2, very similar to what we saw from Sebastian Weldon. It did look like Sebastian Weldon was going to come out on top, but he eventually did after the contact and into that one. We'll see if that's a precursor for more to come here in Masters and Senior, but nonetheless, some exciting racing throughout the day thus far.
Very exciting racing here. And Michel Garrido continuing to push on Schiavo. We'll see when he wants to make it exciting. You know, when he wants to try and go through and go for the lead. At the moment, you know, I don't know if we'll see much. Michel Garrido, granted, he has returned to the X30 Master ranks in the higher horsepower racing over the last couple of times the SKUSA Winter Series has come to town. Locally, though, especially at my time while I was working here at the racetrack, he ran 206. So he ran the momentum, pack-style racing, drafting, and just would take his time and ride behind the driver till 2 laps to go. And that might be his strategy right now with Schiavo. Obviously, that gap to Barrios, it was closing for a little bit. Now it's kind of stabilized, and maybe Garrido feels like he's fine. You know, he doesn't have to worry about Schiavo all of a sudden finding another gear and pulling away.
Yeah, we'll keep looking at fast lap times. As you said, Garrido's been pretty good, a 49.4 his best. He's backed it up with another 4, so doing everything he needs to do. There's a 5. Schiavo now jumping back up here, so look like they got his transponder dialed in on live timing. Another driver turning some good lap times as well is Danilo Ramalho. He gets down to a 49.183, a little bit quicker than those drivers in front of him. So don't count out Danilo Ramalho, 2.3 seconds back, but definitely an opportunity to fight his way to the podium. But again, as we're watching here, a great scrap between two drivers up front. Schiavo and Garrido locked together with about a 1 second lead over Mario Barrios, who runs that P3 position. Barrios, though, just not the pace right now. 49.5 last time by, a half second off of the lead pace. This one, I think, Xander, is going to be just a two-driver fight to the get.
Yeah, that's what it looks like here. Outside of just a lot of shuffling back and forth with Barrios going by, or getting closer because of that, like you said, Rob, they seem to be starting to pull into a league of their own, and again, when you get to X30 Master Racing, you don't see a lot of that lack of thought behind a pass. These guys are really contemplating every decision they make, really deciding if it's worth it, and right now, Garrido, he thinks it is. He's going to take it. New leader, Michel Garrido, in turn 6.
Yeah, really nice pass down the inside at turn number 5. Textbook pass, get to the inside, own the apex, own the exit, able to come out, and Schiavo, the veteran, doesn't force it either. It's not like he's trying to pinch him down or knock him out or try to do the over-under on him. You can't really do that in turn 5 unless the guy goes super deep into the corner. It was a really tempered pass there for Garrido. Took the spot and didn't overshoot the apex.
Definitely. We've got our Jenna Tommy. She has caught up with Jeremy Fletcher here down on the grid, so we're going to let the carts pass on by where they can hear each other a little bit better and give them a chance to talk to each other here. Jeremy Fletcher, we mentioned, had an issue in the pre-final. We'll see what he has to say here as he's with our Jenna Tommy from Kart Chasers.
Hi, I'm Jenna Tommy, and I'm here with Jeremy Fletcher, who went P1 in 3 out of 4 practice sessions in X30 Senior yesterday. He was looking at really good results for today, but then what happened in that pre-final?
We had a chain pop going down the straightaway. Just unfortunate luck, but ready to come from the back.
Yeah, unfortunate luck for sure, but are you excited to come from the back? Like, describe to me how you're feeling about going from the back.
I mean, I'd rather obviously be up front and have a good position, but at least I'll have fun this weekend.
How do you feel about the new track layout with the new curbs and the grass?
I actually like it. It's just a lot more technical and not so much just jumping curbs.
Awesome. Thanks for talking to me. Well, it's back to you guys in the booth.
All right, thanks again for that, Jenna, here. We'll go back here to the live on-track action. Michel Garrido starting to pull away a little bit, Rob, from Luis Schiavo. 2-3 car lengths at the moment. Now maybe make it 4 by turn 5.
Yeah, impressive to see him stretch away a little bit here. Got a little bit of a cushion. Again, like you said, probably about 3 or 4 car lengths. Garrido out front as your leader. And again, Schiavo, who has been good all day long, just doesn't seem to have it right now. But again, we're still early, right? We're not even to the halfway point yet. We'll get that the next time by. Great stuff for Garrido out front. Again, half a second lead over Schiavo. You'll see the halfway point. Let's see which carts start coming in. We'll see which drivers potentially can fight, because here comes Barrios as well. Mario Barrios, interestingly, closing up a little bit here. 0.6 of a second behind Schiavo. Although good lap there in the after making the move and moving up front. Garrido down to a 49.2, 0.3 faster that last time by than Luis Schiavo.
This is the time of the race here where everyone starts to dig a little bit deeper to find it, and again, we mentioned with Garrido pulling that gap a little bit. As soon as he starts to pull it, maybe Schiavo learns a little bit from him with him going out in front this early, and he finds a way to pull back up to him. The track, granted, it's all dry now, but they're still learning from each other because they may not have run around each other a lot in practice, and you brought it up earlier today, Rob. All that rubber, with the amount of rain we had, completely gone. I mean, a green racetrack by the time we got racing this morning. 3rd, 4th, and 5th pretty close together. We're watching that pretty closely there as well with Mario Barrios, Danilo Ramalho, and Lucas Iglesias all running there in 3rd, 4th, and 5th. So those drivers are pretty in fact, they're actually closing up. Look at the top 5 here. And there's an issue there for Barrios. He has some trouble coming out of turn number 4, and he's going to lose a spot. He's going to lose both spots. Barrios loses both positions. He'll go back to 5th. So trouble there for Mario Barrios. Goes back into the 5th position. Both Ramalho and Iglesias able to get through after he struggles through turn number 4. So again, things stacking up. That gap between 1st and 5th, not as long as it was at one point, but now we see them coming across the start-finish line with kind of equidistant gap between all of them. So an interesting lap here. Barrios going from 3rd all the way back into P5. Yeah, Barrios fading back there with that bobble. So as we look towards the end of this race, we thought he might be able to be a factor. You know, he was coming on. He was getting the pace together. The thing was starting to roll, but, you know, he was obviously running it onto the limit, just went a little bit past it, and, you know, now finds himself in a bit of a bigger hole than where he even was to start with.
Yeah, and Xander, you know this racetrack. He got on the outside of the rumbles, up on kind of on the rumbles on the outside of 4. From there, they got the grass area on the inside, so he was bouncing, banging. Everybody else on the throttle cleanly, just not able to get that done. And again, tough trouble for him, dropping back to the 5th position. This has allowed Michelle Garrido in the 5:07 to get away pretty cleanly as your leader.
Well, we're going to send it down here to our Jenna Tommy. She caught up with Sebastian Weldon before the race got underway in X30 Junior. She is down with him again here on the grid as we've got our X30 Master in the top right corner. Jenna, talk to us here with our X30 Junior main event winner.
We are back with Sebastian Weldon, who just won our X30 Junior main event. What does winning this race mean to you at this track?
It means a lot, and it's been my first win in X30, and it's a national race, so I'm thrilled.
That is awesome. What were you thinking when you were coming around the last corner and third? Did you think you were going to win? Or?
Well, I knew something was going to happen on the last corner, so I just kind of let off the throttle on the back straight and then got the undercut and got the win.
Awesome. What do you want to do to celebrate tonight, your first junior win? You could make your mom take you out to dinner. You could have cake. What do you want to do? If you could do one thing.
Probably ask my mom for iRacing dollars.
Oh, asking his mom for iRacing dollars. That's awesome. Great job, Sebastian. Back to you guys.
That's it. That's a racer right there.
Man.
I want to go. I want to buy a new track. I want to buy the new Formula One car in iRacing. I like that. That's good stuff.
That is too cool, man. And, you know, go home, go race again here. Sebastian Weldon, obviously, congratulations on a fantastic performance. He put on a heck of a show here in X30 Junior's main. Gets to do it again. Speaking of a show here, Luis Schiavo getting one all over him. And while we were up away, he has been shuffled back from 2nd to 3rd and is getting muscled all around there for 3rd.
Yeah, this is a bit of a fight here for Schiavo. It's almost like they're going backwards a little bit. Not exactly sure what happened to Schiavo. He had a good kart out of the gate, but look, he's getting eaten up here right now. Barrios is going to go down the inside as well of Iglesias. He'll take 4th spot away. Mario Barrios, who was in 3rd for a time, fell back to 5th. He has scrapped his way by. He's used essentially Schiavo's issues as a pick, able to get by Iglesias. Now Barrios and the Rawls Performance Group Cosmic going to work on Schiavo. Not sure what's wrong with Luis in the 546, but there he goes to the inside, a little bit of muscling in there. Not sure what's going on with Schiavo, Xander, but definitely not the direction that he wants to go in.
No, very quickly he has faded backwards. I mean, I'm not sure exactly what it was because he had a bit of a comfort zone before we went to the interview, but now that we've come back here, he has continued to fade, and for the viewers that were watching, they definitely saw that transition slowly come. Now with Barrios by, here comes Iglesias, looking, not going to get there into turn at number 12. 4 to go here. They're running low on time for all of them, for Schiavo to bounce back and get onto the box, and of course for Iglesias to get by. Danilo Romalo is only 1.2 seconds back from Michelle Garrido, was about a 10th quicker last time. I don't think we'll see much of a change for the lead. For Michelle Garrido, though, this would be a real cool way to go home here. We talk about someone that might be able to celebrate tonight. Well, again, he doesn't live too far down the road, so he could definitely have a little house party tonight, as long as it doesn't go too crazy, so he's still in good shape for tomorrow.
That's it. Don't waste your evening to ruin tomorrow. For Romalo, he's going to need to be about 0.3 of a second faster a lap with 4 to go. He's 1.2 seconds back. Last time, as Xander mentioned, only about a 10th quicker. We'll see how they go here on this lap here. He needs 0.3 of a second on Garrido. It's a 49.323 for Garrido, a 49.435. Romalo actually losing a little bit. It looks to me like Michelle Garrido in the number 507 in a really good spot to start off this year's Winter Series with a race win in X30 Master.
A very safe spot here indeed for Michelle Garrido and the Alessandro's Racing Group, a newly formed operation. They've got some talent underneath them. They've got Noel Leon as well, F4 U.S. champion, looking towards the road to Indy here. He's got a lot of power behind him, and he's very quick around this racetrack. He won here, of course, an X30 Junior on a CRG when the CRG chassis were struggling a little bit not too long ago. So Leon and now Michelle Garrido trying to get some wins for this newly formed Miami-based karting team, Alessandro's Racing USA. Garrido across the line here, double sticks in the air, 2 to go, Rob.
Yeah, capping this one here off. Just a couple more circuits around this 7/10 of a mile racetrack. Again, running in the counterclockwise direction. We'll reverse that for the race in February, rounds 3 and 4 of this year's SKUSA Winter Series. 2 laps remaining for Michelle Garrido in the 5:07, and a good run out front. Again, a lap quicker than Danilo Ramalho, who again is significantly quicker than Mario Barrios as well. So really, these guys are just battling it out. Barrios having to hold on still there for that third, fourth, and fifth spot, because that's not done either. As Iglesias really getting at it here too with Luis Schiavo. Leader coming out though down the back straightaway again. White flag will fly this time by for Michelle Garrido. Yeah, out of the final corner here, Xander. One more lap to go.
One more time around here. So many laps put in around this place here for Michelle Garrido. He loves coming out here again on his own. I mentioned, he had been traveling a lot racing, and then he moved, finally settled home here in Miami, had his family, but he still tries to come out here to the racetrack all this time. Whenever we have the championship banquet, he'd make sure his son was there on the podium, which was super cool, and he loves coaching the next level of talent. I think that's the biggest draw. He loves obviously getting behind the wheel. It's fun for him. It's a way to play, but he's a big instrument to the coaching program for this local-based Miami team and shop, and he's done a lot to help them grow, and it's cool to see him being able to potentially deliver a checkered flag with just 2 corners to go.
Nothing bad with it for your coaching resume when you can win a SKUSA race either, though, right?
Nothing at all.
Here he comes down the back straightaway. It'll be the win here in X30 Master for Michelle Garrido. Takes the victory over Danilo Ramalho. SKUSA Pro Tour champion Mario Barrios finishing in 3rd spot. Luis Schiavo holding off Lucas Iglesias. A race-long scrap there. Schiavo, who led early, struggled at the tail end of that race, ends up P4. Lucas Iglesias rounding out the top 5. Great stuff for Michelle Garrido, though, able to go up front and then put in the lap times he needed. Garrido with the win. Ramalho and Barrios, Xander, on the unofficial podium for X30 Master.
Yeah, definitely a shakeup from where we thought we were at the halfway point here in this X30 Master main event, but we've still got the main event to come for today. X30 Senior now onto the grid here. They'll be getting set to go green. We'll take one final commercial break. When we come back, Rob and I will break down the starting lineup for the 35-plus driver X30 Pro main event, Alessandro Tullio. We talked to him already. He's going to be the driver to lead them to the green. Stick with us, folks. One more race here to come from Homestead-Miami, and then it's podium time, and we get to run it all back again tomorrow. Live on Kart Chaser, it's the Super Karts USA Winter Series, round number 1.
I'm David Serra, 18-time Australian karting champion, and we're launching Kart Class. Kart Class is an advanced digital training program that suits a driver who's just starting out in the sport, all the way to the driver looking to win a national championship. In this program, you're going to be learning about how to find the ideal racing line and what an apex is, braking and throttle markers, wet weather racing lines, and how to overtake other competitors. We target how to brake in the wet weather, and we look on the mental side of kart racing as well with our mental skills coach. At the completion of this program, you'll be lighting up purple sectors in qualifying, know when to defend on the opening laps, and how to pressure your opposition into mistakes. We teach you the tools to be resilient and how to get in the right frame of mind before a race. We look to complete the whole package by getting a strong mindset, a driving style to suit all conditions, strategizing your race, and getting the last 1% from your team. We'll teach you how to win the final lap of a race, driving the wet like Max Verstappen, and creating the perfect bubble for yourself to mentally be in the zone. To find out more, click the link below.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to our final race of the opening day of the 2022 SuperKarts USA Winter Series live here on Kart Chaser. It is time to have a look at the grid for the drivers in X30 Senior, brought to you by Group A Apparel. Starting off with the front row, good run in the pre-final. Alessandro Di Tullio will be on the pole position alongside Thomas Nepvu.
Moving back to row number 2, the number 362 AM Racing Engines X-Pria Mateus Morgado will line up to the inside of rookie Super Tune USA Tony Kart driver Noah Baker.
We'll put Diego Ramos on the inside of row number 3, P5 with the number 313. He'll start alongside Paulie Massimino in the Ryan Perry Motorsports number 308.
Another Super Tune Tony Kart joins the top 10 with John Burke to the inside of row number 4. To the outside of him, it'll be Eduardo Villa in the TB kart.
Noel Leon, the F4 champion last year, starting 9th position alongside Jace Park in the 356. That is row number 5.
Moving outside your top 10, we go to row number 7 with row number 6 with Colin Lloyd to the inside of Tyler McIntyre.
Row number 7 will see the Pro Tour champion Hannah Greenmeyer out of Colorado for Rallis and Performance Group on the inside in the 301 alongside Leonardo Hassan in the 386.
Moving towards the edge of your top 20, it's Lucas Mendez in the 365 and Santiago Benito to the outside of the Speed Concepts Red Speed.
Yeah, row number 9, starting 17th, Nate Cicero for the Rallis and Performance Group, and Carson Morgan, two-time SuperKarts USA Pro Tour champion last year, in number 18th position.
And rounding your top 20, Cole Morgan to the inside, Santiago Fernandez to the outside. Rob, let's call the start.
Drivers into position to get things underway, into the staging lanes, time to go racing. Green, green, green! Everybody dive into the inside of the racetrack through turn 1 for the first time. It's senior racing. Get your elbows up, ladies and gentlemen. They'll get at it. 3 drivers collected on the entry into the corner. The rest of them try to fight their way through. More contact out of turn number 4, or 3 rather. Over to turn number 4 now. Here they come down to the hairpin, turn number 5. What an aggressive start here early on. Drivers settling into position. I like the opening laps here, Xander. Great start coming into the infield section of the racetrack.
Mateus Morgado with the best start of them all. He's gone to the lead. His Brazilian buddy, Diego Ramos, has followed him into second. Alessandro Di Tullio into third. John Burke got a great start to P4. He's got a little pressure. That might be Eduardo Villa behind him. I'm trying to see who we've got P5, and indeed it's Villa aboard the TB kart as Di Tullio into second. Here comes Burke. Here comes Villa, and one more, Jace Park with a great start to the inside.
Yeah, I like that move for Di Tullio, getting to the inside. So this is senior racing. This is when you can get at it. An aggressive move to the inside at turn number 12. Took over the apex, but held the kart to the inside, Xander. Didn't push the driver all the way out. That was a textbook pass. It was aggressive, but it was done well.
And it was something he needed to do. He put Ramos all the way back to 6th with that move, and now he doesn't have to worry about people wondering if he's fast. He's shown the speed. In fact, here it comes. Looking, not going to go into 7 and 8. Burke under fire from Villa. He's fighting him into 9. He'll clear himself for 3rd. And Di Tullio, again, an even safer spot now as they battle for P3. But Burke gave him the benefit of the doubt because John Burke was definitely close enough in turn 4, turn 5. He could have stuffed him. He didn't, and that's allowed Di Tullio to get even closer to Mateus Morgado for the lead.
Yeah, look at this scrap again for the 3rd and 4th spots as well. John Burke, Diego Ramos, and as Xander had said, Villa in the number 305 right there in the middle of the fight as well. I think Villa actually up into the 4th spot. Jace Park 5th, and Diego Ramos now in 6th.
Yeah, big time shakeup. In fact, more contact in turn 4. Morgado all the way to the wayside as Alessandro Di Tullio puts him to P4, moves into the lead. Burke back to 3rd, Eduardo Villas to 2nd, and there's still more shuffling going around here. Hannah Greenemeyer getting her elbows up. She's up into the top 10. Much better start than where she was in the pre-final.
Oh, yeah, they've dropped the gloves here already in X30 Senior, the first SuperKarts USA national race of the season in X30 Senior, the opening round of the Winter Series, and they are going at it. Di Tullio, an aggressive move on Morgado over in turn number 5. He'll lead this one coming through, and right behind him, though, is Villa in the number 305. I think he was the benefactor there. He didn't get involved in that chaos, ends up coming out P2.
No, it seems like every year we get a couple drivers, too, Rob, that come from international and come internationally to race the SuperKarts USA Winter Series. You may not have heard of them before, but they've made a name for themselves in the U.S. racing here. Villa, new leader, doing just just that here through turns 5 and 6.
Eduardo Villa takes over the lead from Alessandro Di Tullio. They've got themselves a 2 or 3 cart length lead over the third place running driver, who is, I believe, John Burke right now. But we'll see how they settle in. Is it indeed Burke? Who is running P3? No, that's definitely not Burke. Not
Ramos
the colors
now. Burke was P3 for most of that lap there. Ramos able to fight his way back forward. We'll see if he repays the favor to Di Tullio and tries to shuffle him backwards.
We got big contact out over in turn number 9 and 10. I know a number of SKUSA officials running over there. We've got a couple drivers over. One potentially injured out in turn number 10 right now. Drivers working their way through turn number 4, the first of the 2 hairpins. Another driver going way off the outside. That might have been Morgado again. Oh, was that Ramos that went out there?
Yeah, that was by Morgado and pushed him wide. Friends off the racetrack. No friends once they get on here. Gloves are completely off right now in this all-out battle for third on back. It's allowing the top 2 to get a little bit of separation, though, as Greenemeyer fights through the mix. She'll pick up a couple spots, moves herself into the top 5, and it's not been the best weekend to start here for the national number 1, but she has definitely found some pace here in the final.
Agreed, yeah. Hannah Greenemeyer dialing things back in and closing up here. She's kind of working away a little bit there with John Burke at one point. Morgado sliding by. Hannah Greenemeyer now P5. Di Tullio still quick, but it's again Eduardo Villa out front right now in the number 305. He is your leader here early, and again, a very hectic opening handful of laps here, Xander. Maybe a little surprising to me, but it seems like everybody, regardless of what happened in the pre-final, ready to drop the gloves and go at it and try to get up front.
Yeah, every single one of them. I think they saw how many drivers were fast and that there wasn't anyone specifically that was super quick in the pre-final, that any one of them were a threat. So they treated them all like threats, and they all went at it and tried to go to the lead early. Unfortunately, as we mentioned here, they paid the price. John Burke is the leader of that group now. He's about 1.5 seconds, nearly 2 seconds back from Alessandro Di Tullio, which puts it all on Di Tullio's shoulders to try and bring the rest of the field back into this one.
Yeah, super early in the race. Di Tullio just went purple, though, with a 48.432. The cart is very good out of the gate here now, but a long way to go. 14 laps still coming. How about Hannah Greenemeyer coming off that SKUSA Pro Tour Championship last year? Just the momentum, the confidence of last year. She started 13th, already into the top 5 right now, and she's got herself a couple of tenths over Lucas Mendez, who's behind her. So Greenemeyer in the Rollinson Performance Group 301, P5, trying to chase John Burke with Mateus Morgado.
Yeah, she even had a look to the inside of Morgado there through the carousel right on screen. Didn't go that time, but there's definitely a little bit of swagger that comes with that number 1 plate when you carry it on the go-kart, and just an extra bit of confidence, as you mentioned, Rob, here, that allows her to feel a little bit better and push the envelope a little bit more, and overall just do exactly what she needs to do to get in a good spot, because she's not roughing anybody up, but she's being very smart, and as you mentioned, up 7, 8 positions already.
Yeah, leader stretching away, the front running 2 drivers over 2.5 seconds ahead of John Burke. So this race quickly becoming a 2-horse fight between Eduardo Villa and Alessandro Di Tullio. Villa in the number 305 on the TB Kart machine for TB Kart USA, and he really has things handled here right now early on, although, Di Tullio settling in there in the Paralympics.
Yeah, he's keeping them right now within arm's reach, learning a little bit, not necessarily trying to overdrive, just stay relatively close. And while we look backwards now here to the battle for third, it's changed hands. Morgado has gone by on Burke. Greenemeyer is there. She is about a half cart back from Burke here this time, and down the front stretch here as we look even further back. There's her teammate Nate Cicero, and Jeremy Fletcher already up to Cicero and passing him down in turn number 1. We are keeping our eye on the 322. He's up at least 15 spots, if not 20.
How about 25 spots so far, Xander? That's unbelievable. We said to keep an eye on Fletcher, who's going to start at the very tail of the field. He has already got by Cicero. That's 13th for Fletcher, and about 7.5 seconds behind the leaders right now. Fletcher, there he is right here, now going to work on Frankie Mossman in the 377. Mossman was one of the drivers who started the Supernats. There's a move to the inside of turn number 9. Book it. Fletcher, I interviewed him on the podium at the Supernats after running those final 2 junior races, having won those races. He was so looking forward to come senior racing. Would you have expected it was going to be this good?
No, and I think nobody did. I don't even know if he maybe did. He definitely had the confidence that I think he thought he would do good, and the speed was going to be there. He had a lot of guys high on him, but you never fully know until it happens. There's a lot of junior drivers that maybe start strong in senior, fade a little bit, have some issues, take a minute. He's jumping in just fine. Again, just like how Connor Zilish was able to do last year and have one of the best rookie seasons, probably going back to the likes of Ryan Norberg and Braden Eves' debut on the Pro Tour.
Yeah, even both those drivers weren't as good as Zilich was, because even Norberg struggled a little bit early. Eves was spotty. Zilich came in and was an immediate front runner from the absolute get-go. But not to take anything away from Norberg and Eves, two of the finest drivers we've had in tag racing over the last decade. But this is a really good start here for Fletcher. He's got open racetrack. He's going to try to reel in Noah Baker now. Fletcher in the 11th position, knocking on the top 10 after starting at the very tail of the field.
And again, speaking of knocking on doors here, we're keeping that close eye on the battle for the lead. Villa not pulling away from DeTulio. DeTulio just took a look over his shoulder. He sees Morgado, but he sees Morgado nearly 2 seconds back, not really closing, so he can take his time with Villa. He just got to be smart about how he plays his cards here, because we're right at the halfway mark, 10 down, 10 to go, coming to see 9 laps to go this time. He's still right there. I think at almost any point, DeTulio probably feels like he could throw a dive bomb and take over the lead. He just needs to make sure that he keeps himself there and doesn't pull that trigger too early.
Well, you'll see this here. If we hold it long enough, the gap is over 3 seconds right now. You can't. You're just seeing the drivers come into the screen there. It's over 3 seconds from DeTulio back to Morgado. In fact, 3.2 seconds. This is a two-driver fight, and if DeTulio does what he's doing now and stays patient, he'll be able to battle later on. You can have a little look. See a little look there. Villa going down to the carburetor, getting things settled in. Villa leading the way in the 305. Look at that lean back setup that he's got going on there. I love that going through the inside of the racetrack here. But both these drivers ready to fight it out. It's going to be the calm before the storm, Xander. They're going to cruise around here for the next, 6-7 laps before we see them go at it over the last couple.
That's for sure here. And again, we're still keeping tabs on them. We're keeping tabs on Jeremy Fletcher as well. Fletcher, guess where he's at? He's already up to Diego Ramos.
Wow.
He's inside the top 10. I mean, he is digging for more, and right there should be able to get a move into turn 1. Here he comes, looking inside, making it look easy, Rob.
Yeah.
Got him.
Yeah, that's P10 right there. Move Fletcher into the top 10. Started 41st. He's up into the 10th position already. What a great drive here for Jeremy Fletcher. And again, watching him work through, we've got the pitcher-in-pitcher watching that lead group. They're not really doing any of those two drivers, but we're still keeping an eye on them. While you watch Fletcher, his next victim would be Noah Baker, who just happened to go purple last time by as well. Even though Baker that quick, it seems to me like he's going to get reeled in here sooner or later by Fletcher, who could be honest, with 8 laps to go, where do you put him? Potentially 5th? Top 5 maybe?
I think he definitely could get there, and it just depends on how they battle, I mean, he's got the advantage on tires because he had the DNF on the very first lap of the pre-final, so he didn't have that whole 10-lap pre-final.
That's true.
The rest of these drivers did, so that's definitely making it easier, because there are definitely other drivers in the field who have made up a lot of spots. Carson Morgan up 10 spots from 18. Lucas Mendez up 10 or 9. He was 5th, back down to 6 as Tyler McIntyre's gone by, but both of those drivers also have been really good. And then, of course, here, as we look out front, in terms of Alessandro DeTulio and Eduardo Villa, their pace is still just at minimum even, if not a little bit better than Jeremy Fletcher. So he is head and shoulders above with the midfield so far. I do think he could get to 5th. Might even touch Greenemeyer, but Greenemeyer ripped out a 47.9 last time. She looks safe too. I think it'd be 5th at best.
Yeah, she's just starting to come into her own right now. Greenemeyer is just trying to reel in Mateus Morgado. Last time by a very similar lap time. She's only behind Morgado by 0.3 of a second. So there's still an opportunity for a battle between Morgado and Greenemeyer for the final step on the podium, as we know that Villa and DeTulio have things handled out front now. Unless something were to happen in the overtake for the race win, these guys are first and second when we get to the checker flag. But again, with 6 laps to go, watching guys come through. Jeremy Fletcher went purple last time by too. This is exciting as he's only about a 10th and a half behind Noah Baker.
Yeah, he'll get into that mix there, and again, Jeremy Fletcher and Carson Morgan were already rubbing elbows in that KA Senior Final.
That's true.
I can tell you Carson Morgan's not going to want to see Jeremy Fletcher starting last and beat him here in this X30 main. So it could get very intense there. We're still keeping the tab on that battle for the lead and the win. Don't worry, folks. You won't miss that. Of course, it's right on your screen, but as we go back and forth here to the stories throughout the race, a lot of clashing storylines, like you said, Rob.
And Fletcher's right there at the tail of that group, right? So he can see all the spots he potentially could get. It's not like he's got a guy way out front that he's got to reel in. He's seeing 4 or 5 drivers in front of him. I can get every one of these drivers. I just got to get it done. He's got to go by Noah Baker first. He's finally right to the tail of Noah. Let's see if he tries something here into turn number 9. We know how good he was through 7 and 8. Lost that camera shot. That's all right. Oh, they're actually dicing it about themselves. Yeah, they're going themselves. That was, I think, actually Noah Baker potentially to the inside of Morgan. So, yeah, he was able to get by at least one there. So Fletcher gets another spot. I think Morgan might have got parked.
Morgan got parked, yep, and then Baker ended up on the outside, lost the spot as a whole, but Park's now the next one in Fletcher's wake. So we got it picture-in-picture for you guys to watch here. We got your lead battle here between Villa and DeTulio, which has yet to heat up. Fletcher onto the bumper of Jace Park. He's going to go here. Turn 4, another one. Got him, and there's the lead pass. DeTulio, your new leader here in 6.
Great pass to the inside at turn number 5 there. DeTulio pulls the trigger with 4 laps to go. Dove it to the inside of Villa. Now here's the thing. How much did he have in the tank? Was he just cruising around a little bit at 90%? Can he pull away and grab a victory for Peril on the USA? He looks good coming down the back straightaway. Alessandro DeTulio with the lead here to put lap number 17 in. 3 laps to go. DeTulio with that pass, his fastest lap during that particular lap as well. That tells you how good he is.
No, he's looking really, really good here, Rob. Again, this is a great way to end a redemption arc in a way for Alessandro DeTulio after what was such an abysmal ending and what could have been like this 1 year ago here. Again, he won the pre-final. He qualified on the pole back in 2021 and obviously didn't end up well. But now he's looking in a great spot. He's open an extra kart length over Villa. Let's take a look back here while we've got a moment. Fletcher has gone by on Noah Baker, so move another spot up the order. Oh, is that Morgan he's gone by as well? No, Morgan's just up the road. So it's Fletcher on Baker. Morgan's the next target. So that'll be something to watch. But the leaders coming to 2 to go here this time. There goes DeTulio. That gap opened up to 4 car lengths now down to turn number 1.
Yeah, indeed. Xander, you're exactly right. He was able to pull away and put the good laps on. I think he might have been saving a little in the tank. Let's say 95% following Villa around. DeTulio's been able to grab that little extra gear coming out here. A little look over his shoulder again to see how much room he has. He needs to have that 2 to 3 car lengths, right, to be able to not run the defensive line. That allows him to get the really good run through 5 and 6. And you can see how he's stretching now. He's got enough room coming into turn number 9 to run the full racing line. Very strong here for DeTulio with a white flag waiting for him here at start-finish.
He's got all the pressure in the world. They had a documentary crew that flew in, wanted to film a Miami driver, got put on DeTulio. So he was doing interviews on Tuesday, was testing here Wednesday and Thursday. Doesn't get all the seat time in the world. And man, here again, he has not gotten that elusive first big-time senior win. At Rock Vegas just a few months ago, Rob, he was leading till the halfway mark, had an engine problem. He was pulling away, 2.5 out. Of course, last year was one of the fastest, if not the fastest drivers. And now here, final time to turn number 5 for Miami, Florida, and all the locals here. They're going to be cheering him on and tearing the fence down out of turn number 6.
Into the inner loop right now for Alessandro DeTulio in the 320 for Peril and USA. Closes Villa. Looking to the inside of turn 9, not quite enough. They'll come out of turn number 10 and 11. He's got enough of a gap to be able to run the racing line down the back straightaway. It's been a tough run for Alessandro DeTulio, but he'll start off 2022 with a SKUSA Winter Series victory. DeTulio scores the win in X30 Senior over Eduardo Villa. Mateus Morgado in 3rd, Hannah Greenmeyer 4th, Tyler McIntyre 5th, Carson Morgan in 6th, 3/10 back, Jeremy Fletcher, who started all the way back in 40th position, ends up 7th, up 32 spots rather. Jace Park, Diego Ramos, and Noah Baker rounding out the top 10.
Wow, Rob. I mean, what a great day of racing here. No red flags.
That's it. No red flags.
No red flags. We can say that now without getting worried. Great starts really all the way through. A couple casualties here and there, but, I mean, really nothing out of the ordinary. A few getting spun, and a good battle here all the way to the end. An X30 Senior, a high-speed chess match, which normally is what this race turns into. I mean, you had it all. You had last lap battles and passes. We had a completely unpredictable X30 main and X30 pre-main. We've had great racing with sunshine since we got clear. A little bit of rain showers here and there, but it never re-wetted the racetrack, so it was a good ending.
Hey, listen, let's just think about the way this day started in terms of this place being absolutely completely flooded, and then the weather actual forecast was for another front to come through around 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock that could have reflooded the track. That went north of us. We ended up with blue skies. The sun's working its way to the horizon. SKUSA did a great job, cut just enough laps, got rid of the lunch break, and we're able to finish a bunch of long races to cap off what has been a great day to start off this SKUSA Winter Series.
No, it's been a great day altogether. And again, every bit of the crew working so hard to put on this day of action here. Huge kudos to the Supercarts USA track staff of AMR Motorplex as well for getting this track dry.
Yeah.
Obviously, a big production for all of us here, for EKN, for Kart Chaser, for all the drivers and mechanics that were like, you know what? I don't care that my pit's flooded. I'm going racing in Miami today to kick off the 2022 season.
Yeah, that's a lot of work being done by a lot of people, and for us, I think the no red flags were the big thing. Really good racing. Remember, SKUSA got rid of the pushback bumper, and there was goods and bads. People were for it, some people were against it. They were worried about the opening corner, that the pushbacks fixed the starts, the crazy starts we had. We had really good starts. One little incident there at the start of X30 Senior. Otherwise, everybody clean and green through 1, 2, and 3. I thought the racers, deserved some respect there as well. They kind of took care of each other. SKUSA with the video marshalling system. We know they dropped the hammer on a couple of things already. All in all, just a great start to the Winter Series and a great start to the coverage here on Kart Chaser.
No doubt here, and that coverage does not end. We're going to continue to do our best to make sure that we give you all the action from Rob calling the podiums, and while we wait for post-race tech inspection to conclude, we're going to pull as many of those X30 Senior drivers out, have some post-race thoughts with them before we get ready. Podium Ceremonies will close this off, so stick with us. We'll take another commercial break here. For Rob Howden from eKarting News, I'm Xander Clemens with Kart Chaser. We appreciate you tuning in, and we hope you stick with us. USA, a top-level performance team with unmatched hospitality, offering a full-service driver development program with year-round testing available in Miami, Florida, and the official North America racing team of Parolin Racing Chassis. Chassis and parts available at ParolinUSA.com.
I'm Billy Vincent, owner of MPG Motorsports. What we do at MPG is we try to keep it a nice, fun family atmosphere, try to combine sort of the bigger things and of the bigger teams and the professionalism down with sort of some of the fun sort of family-oriented atmosphere. We try to not only develop drivers, but also the parents and the families for just in knowledge in general in motorsports. It all starts in karting. What we try to do is try to help the drivers, the moms, the dads understand the sport of motorsports in general, not just karting, but what it takes to get all the way up through. Whether you end up wanting to be a driver or a mechanic or an engineer, we can help you with that, and that's what we're here for. If you're interested in joining us at MPG, our home base is at Whiteland Raceway Park in Indianapolis, and you can contact us at info@willpowerkart.com, and one of our great people will reach out to you, and we'll try to put the best program together.
As the Western importer of the Praga and Formula K chassis brands, Leading Edge Motorsports is a high-performance kart shop and race team with a simple mission: teach others the joy of high-performance driving, supply our customers with the highest quality products and services, and most of all, win races. With our remarkable racing inventory, expert services, and top-ranked national-level team to back it up, we'll help to get your new kart racing package up and running fast. From arrive and drive service to kart preparation and driver coaching to the parts you need to get you back on the racetrack, Leading Edge Motorsports is the industry answer.
A national race winner. This pro national win should have come a little bit sooner. It hasn't. It finally does. How does it feel?
Honestly, it feels great. I've been waiting a long time for this. I've had many chances, including last year, which we all know what happened. So, yeah, it's great to come back 1 year later and, get what I think I deserved.
And it looked like out there you were strategizing probably the last 8 or 9 laps of when you wanted to go. Did you really believe that you had enough pace to kind of pull a small gap on Villa when you went by him with 4 to go?
Yeah, I knew I had a pace advantage for sure. I was saving my tires, just staying behind him. I was braking early, driving like normal. And then once I saw that he wouldn't go away, I knew, I had pace on him. So I was just planning the last 5 laps to get past him and then try to build the gap. And I built a bit of a gap, so yeah.
Obviously, it means a lot to get your first win. I'm sure it feels a whole lot more special to do it on home turf. You got your family here watching you. You got friends from all over watching you, probably watching on the live stream as well. Did you get a big crowd reception when you came to the scales?
Yeah, everyone, congratulated me. And yeah, it's cool to race at home sometimes because, you have people, family, friends watching you. So yeah, it's a boost because, it's all the support and everything, not only from them, but from my team, from Bryn, from BN, everyone that supports me. Yeah, I want to thank them all.
Awesome stuff. Congratulations, Alessandro.
Thank you.
We're going to let Alessandro step away. We'll bring up our second place finisher here, Eduardo Villa. Eduardo, you were a guy not a lot of Americans had heard of here before this weekend, but you definitely were very impressive here in the final. So close there, just maybe needed a touch more, huh?
Yeah. It's been really difficult, the final, because I had bad luck in qualifying. I had to start the pre-final on P19. I did a pretty good pre-final. I finished P8 and I started P8 in the final. Maybe I think I pushed a lot too much in the first laps, and then Alessandro in the last laps was faster than me. So it's good for today. We see tomorrow what we can do again.
Definitely impressive. The TB kart chassis here as well, obviously a new design. How did the kart feel throughout the day? Did you have to make a lot of changes?
No, we have maybe a bit more to do on the chassis maybe tomorrow, but we didn't do so many changes. We put the kart here and was good. So yeah, pretty good. Yeah.
Awesome stuff. Well, congrats here. P2, heck of a SKUSA Winter Series debut, Eduardo.
Okay, thank you.
All right, we'll bring up also, I believe we did have our third place finisher, Mateus Morgado, just around here for a moment, but I do know we have our fourth place finisher, Hannah Greenemeyer. Hannah, why don't you come on over here? How to drive forward, our reigning national SKUSA Pro Tour champion. You and I have talked a whole lot, especially after a banner 2021 year. This weekend didn't start off the greatest for you, but you seem to have kind of found something here, especially by the final, putting your elbows up on the start.
Yeah, made a pretty big mistake on the opening flyer lap on qualifying, which set us back and really showed in the pre-final. But we made some good adjustments for that final, and I think we were a little off on tire pressure, but overall I think that it was a great team effort and we got ourselves up there. So thanks to Alex for the great engine, Raleigh, my mechanic Mike Beanie for keeping my kart on rails, Bonner for all the coaching, and just everybody that's helped me out, my parents and God. And yeah, hopefully I can do a few more spots better tomorrow and get the season kicking off to a good start.
Right, I mean, we go back not too long ago. You were fighting very, very hard, obviously, for a SKUSA Winter Series X30 Championship. Fourth doesn't get you hardware, but it gets you a lot of points, so that's still a really solid start to the season.
Yeah, past couple years I've messed up on the first round, so hopefully I can get through the whole weekend. But yeah, I'm trying to fix my mistakes from last year of being a little overly aggressive and paying the price for it in the championship points, so hopefully I can keep that up.
Awesome. Well, Hannah, it's a team effort just for everybody. Who would you like to thank here today?
First off, God for keeping me safe. My parents, they get me to all these races, support me, pay for my physical therapy. Everybody at RPG, Mike, Joni, Alex, my mechanic Mike Beanie, Bonner Moulton for the coaching, and everybody at Synergy at home for helping me with my ribs. So, yep.
Awesome stuff. And I'm sure you're one of the ones that definitely likes the track changes here to make it a little easier, huh?
Yeah, it's definitely easier. It's still physically demanding, but definitely am not as worried for my ribs, which is good.
Awesome stuff. Congrats, Hannah. Thanks for talking with us.
Thank you.
All right, Hannah Greenemeyer again, fourth place with RPG here. We got Mateus Morgado here with us as well. We don't get to see you as much in the U.S., but we get to see you today. The start seemed like that was kind of really all she wrote because the pace was good.
Yeah, for sure. The start was a bit hard. I didn't have a good pace in the beginning, but after the middle of the race, my pace started getting better, and at the end it was okay, but I was too far from the first two.
And talk to me, this weekend's kind of like a homecoming, you know, coming back to working with Ariel and AM Engines, driver, you know, guy you've been with when you were little. How does that feel to be able to come back and race for him this weekend?
It's amazing to be here with him again. I like his team, I like everyone here. I like racing in the US. It was about 3 years that I didn't race here. Ariel is amazing and I'm very happy that I can help him.
Awesome, and now we've only got 2 more spots to get up tomorrow, right?
Yeah. Just we'll do my best and see what we can do.
Thanks again for talking with us, Mateus. Congrats on the podium.
Thank you very much.
We got one more driver we're going to talk to here before we let everybody step away, and that is Carson Morgan, who is just inside the top 10, and he was inside of the fight here. Carson, why don't you come on over here with us before we wrap up all of our interviews. Carson, you know, top 10 finish, kind of a slow start, but heck, you picked up a lot of spots there in the beginning.
Yeah, it was pretty good. You know, we've been struggling a lot this weekend early, but we figured it out in the final there and came from 19th to get a 6th, so I'm pretty happy with that. It wasn't bad. Just figuring out in seniors, so hopefully we can do a little bit better tomorrow.
Yeah, describe to us, you know, this obviously, it wasn't your first senior weekend. You moved up at the Supernats, but this being your second one, first time coming back to a racetrack that's the same, going from junior to senior. Describe that change that you've had to make, and obviously on the setup size too.
It wasn't really much different. It was just kind of the weight and a little bit of the driving style. And with the Reds, you kind of got to conserve the tire a little bit more than the junior. You can't just push through the whole race, and you just kind of got to be smooth and drive it slow the whole race, and then just still be aggressive and be able to attack and move up in positions.
Overall, how would you rate your day here? I mean, it's a top 10. It's something to build on for tomorrow. Do you think you've learned a good bit where you can come out even more confident for Sunday?
Oh yeah, I think it was pretty good. We got the win in KA and top 10 from a bad starting spot in the finals, so I'm pretty happy with it.
Awesome stuff. And Carson, just like with Hannah, it's a team effort. There's a lot of people that make things happen for you behind the scenes. Who would you like to thank?
First, I'd like to thank my dad so much for bringing us out here and all the effort he does and everything that he does for us. And then I want to thank everyone on the team, you know, Taryn, Chris, Jagger, Perry, my mechanics, D-May and Copeland, and of course Freck for the motor and Comet, just everyone out there that helps us. It's really a big support, and I couldn't do it without all of them.
Awesome stuff. Well, again, congrats, Carson, here. KA win, top 10 here in X30. That's not too bad to start off your 2022 season.
Yep, thank you.
All right, again, folks, we're going to send it on back here to commercial break. When we do come back here in a little bit, we'll be coming back with the Podium Ceremonies with Rob Howard and the voice of SKUSA, taking you through your top 3 in each class. Parolin USA, a top-level performance team with unmatched hospitality, offering a full-service driver development program with year-round testing available in Miami, Florida, and the official North America racing team of Parolin Racing Chassis. Chassis and parts available at ParolinUSA.com. If you're looking for top-grade equipment, look no further than Rev Performance Materials engine mounts, sprockets, and arcade chains. Available online now at RevPerformanceMaterials.com and through a dealer near you. The highest quality material, built to the highest quality standards. Rev Performance Materials. Parolin USA, a top-level performance team with unmatched hospitality, offering a full-service driver development program with year-round testing available in Miami, Florida, and the official North America racing team of Parolin Racing Chassis. Chassis and parts available at ParolinUSA.com.
I'm Billy Vincent, owner of MPG Motorsports. What we do at MPG is we try to keep it a nice, fun family atmosphere, try to combine sort of the bigger things and of the bigger teams and the professionalism down with sort of some of the fun sort of family-oriented atmosphere. We try to not only develop drivers, but also the parents and the families for just in knowledge in general in motorsports. It all starts in karting. What we try to do is try to help the drivers, the moms, the dads understand the sport of motorsports in general, not just karting, but what it takes to get all the way up through. Whether you end up wanting to be a driver or a mechanic or an engineer, you know, we can help you with that, and that's what we're here for. If you're interested in joining us at MPG, our home base is at Whiteland Raceway Park in Indianapolis, and you can contact us at info@willpowerkart.com, and one of our great people will reach out to you, and we'll try to put the best program together.
I'm David Serra, 18-time Australian karting champion, and we're launching Kart Class. Kart Class is an advanced digital training program that suits a driver who's just starting out in the sport, all the way to the driver looking to win a national championship. In this program, you're going to be learning about how to find the ideal racing line and what an apex is, braking and throttle markers, wet weather racing lines, and how to overtake other competitors. We target how to brake in the wet weather, and we look on the mental side of kart racing as well with our mental skills coach. At the completion of this program, you'll be lighting up purple sectors in qualifying, know when to defend on the opening laps, and how to pressure your opposition into mistakes. We teach you the tools to be resilient and how to get in the right frame of mind before a race. We look to complete the whole package by getting a strong mindset, a driving style to suit all conditions, strategizing your race, and getting the last 1% from your team. We'll teach you how to win the final lap of a race, driving the wet like Max Verstappen, and creating the perfect bubble for yourself to mentally be in the zone. To find out more, click the link below.
Kart Store USA is a kart parts supplier that racers and retailers can count on when they need reliable advice and service. We focus on servicing all racers with honesty and pride while maintaining customer satisfaction. We carry a full stock of Kart Republic and Tony Kart chassis, as well as IAMI and Vortex Rock engines. We've also got a host of other parts available and in stock, such as products from Rev Performance Materials, Jecco Racing Seats, and more. We have a 100% satisfaction guarantee, and on top of that, if your order exceeds $200, shipping is on us. Check out all we have to offer today by visiting us online at kartstore-usa.com.
I'm David Serra, 18-time Australian karting champion, and we're launching Kart Class. Kart Class is an advanced digital training program that suits a driver who's just starting out in the sport, all the way to the driver looking to win a national championship. In this program, you're going to be learning about how to find the ideal racing line and what an apex is, braking and throttle markers, wet weather racing lines, and how to overtake other competitors. We target how to brake in the wet weather, and we look on the mental side of kart racing as well with our mental skills coach. At the completion of this program, you'll be lighting up purple sectors in qualifying, know when to defend on the opening laps, and how to pressure your opposition into mistakes. We teach you the tools to be resilient and how to get in the right frame of mind before a race. We look to complete the whole package by getting a strong mindset, a driving style to suit all conditions, strategizing your race, and getting the last 1% from your team. We'll teach you how to win the final lap of a race, drive in the wet like Max Verstappen, and creating the perfect bubble for yourself to mentally be in the zone. To find out more, click the link below.
USA, a top-level performance team with unmatched hospitality, offering a full-service driver development program with year-round testing available in Miami, Florida, and the official North America racing team of Parolin Racing Chassis. Chassis and parts available at ParolinUSA.com.
I'm Billy Vincent, owner of MPG Motorsports. What we do at MPG is we try to keep it a nice, fun family atmosphere, try to combine sort of the bigger things and of the bigger teams and the professionalism down with sort of some of the fun sort of family-oriented atmosphere. We try to not only develop drivers, but also the parents and the families for just in knowledge in general in motorsports. It all starts in karting. What we try to do is try to help the drivers, the moms, the dads understand the sport of motorsports in general, not just karting, but what it takes to get all the way up through. Whether you end up wanting to be a driver or a mechanic or an engineer, you know, we can help you with that, and that's what we're here for. If you're interested in joining us at MPG, our home base is at Whiteland Raceway Park in Indianapolis, and you can contact us at info@willpowerkart.com, and one of our great people will reach out to you, and we'll try to put the best program together.
Parolin USA, a top-level performance team with unmatched hospitality, offering a full-service driver development program with year-round testing available in Miami, Florida, and the official North America racing team of Parolin Racing Chassis. Chassis and parts available at ParolinUSA.com.
I'm Billy Vincent, owner of MPG Motorsports. What we do at MPG is we try to keep it a nice, fun family atmosphere, try to combine sort of the bigger things and of the bigger teams and the professionalism down with sort of some of the fun sort of family-oriented atmosphere. We try to not only develop drivers, but also the parents and the families for just in knowledge in general in motorsports. It all starts in karting. What we try to do is try to help the drivers, the moms, the dads understand the sport of motorsports in general, not just karting, but what it takes to get all the way up through. Whether you end up wanting to be a driver or a mechanic or an engineer, you know, we can help you with that, and that's what we're here for. If you're interested in joining us at MPG, our home base is at Whiteland Raceway Park in Indianapolis, and you can contact us at info@willpowerkart.com, and one of our great people will reach out to you, and we'll try to put the best program together.
Parolin USA, a top-level performance team with unmatched hospitality, offering a full-service driver development program with year-round testing available in Miami, Florida, and the official North America racing team of Parolin Racing Chassis. Chassis and parts available at ParolinUSA.com.
I'm Billy Vincent, owner of MPG Motorsports. What we do at MPG is we try to keep it a nice, fun family atmosphere, try to combine sort of the the bigger things and of the bigger teams and the professionalism, down with sort of some of the fun, sort of family-oriented atmosphere. We try to not only develop drivers, but also the parents and the families for just in knowledge in general in motorsports. It all starts in karting. What we try to do is try to help the drivers, the moms, the dads understand the sport of motorsports in general, not just karting, but what it takes to get all the way up through. Whether you end up wanting to be a driver or a mechanic or an engineer, you know, we can help you with that, and that's what we're here for. If you're interested in joining us at MPG, our home base is at Whiteland Raceway Park in Indianapolis, and you can contact us at info@willpowerkart.com. And one of our great people will reach out to you, and we'll try to put the best program together.
USA, a top-level performance team with unmatched hospitality, offering a full-service driver development program with year-round testing available in Miami, Florida, and the official North America racing team of Parolin Racing Chassis. Chassis and parts available at ParolinUSA.com.
I'm Billy Vincent, owner of MPG Motorsports. What we do at MPG is we try to keep it a nice, fun family atmosphere, try to combine sort of the bigger things and of the bigger teams and the professionalism, down with sort of some of the fun, sort of family-oriented atmosphere. We try to not only develop drivers, but also the parents and the families for just in knowledge in general in motorsports. It all starts in karting. What we try to do is try to help the drivers, the moms, the dads understand the sport of motorsports in general, not just karting, but what it takes to get all the way up through. Whether you end up wanting to be a driver or a mechanic or an engineer, you know, we can help you with that, and that's what we're here for. If you're interested in joining us at MPG, our home base is at Whiteland Raceway Park in Indianapolis, and you can contact us at info@willpowerkart.com. And one of our great people will reach out to you, and we'll try to put the best program together.
Parolin USA, a top-level performance team with unmatched hospitality, offering a full-service driver development program with year-round testing available in Miami, Florida, and the official North America racing team of Parolin Racing Chassis. Chassis and parts available at ParolinUSA.com.
I'm Billy Vincent, owner of MPG Motorsports. What we do at MPG is we try to keep it a nice, fun family atmosphere, try to combine sort of the bigger things and of the bigger teams and the professionalism, down with sort of some of the fun, sort of family-oriented atmosphere. We try to not only develop drivers, but also the parents and the families for just in knowledge in general in motorsports. It all starts in karting. What we try to do is try to help the drivers, the moms, the dads understand the sport of motorsports in general, not just karting, but what it takes to get all the way up through. Whether you end up wanting to be a driver or a mechanic or an engineer, we can help you with that, and that's what we're here for. If you're interested in joining us at MPG, our home base is at Whiteland Raceway Park in Indianapolis, and you can contact us at info@willpowerkart.com, and one of our great people will reach out to you, and we'll try to put the best program together.
USA, a top-level performance team with unmatched hospitality, offering a full-service driver development program with year-round testing available in Miami, Florida, and the official North America racing team of Parolin Racing Chassis. Chassis and parts available at ParolinUSA.com.
I'm Billy Vincent, owner of MPG Motorsports. What we do at MPG is we try to keep it a nice, fun, family atmosphere, try to combine sort of the bigger things and of the bigger teams and the professionalism down with sort of some of the fun, sort of family-oriented atmosphere. We try to not only develop drivers, but also the parents and the families for just in knowledge in general in motorsports. It all starts in karting. What we try to do is try to help the drivers, the moms, the dads understand the sport of motorsports in general, not just karting, but what it takes to get all the way up through. Whether you end up wanting to be a driver or a mechanic or an engineer, we can help you with that, and that's what we're here for. If you're interested in joining us at MPG, our home base is at Whiteland Raceway Park in Indianapolis, and you can contact us at info@willpowerkart.com, and one of our great people will reach out to you, and we'll try to put the best program together.
Parolin USA, a top-level performance team with unmatched hospitality, offering a full-service driver development program with year-round testing available in Miami, Florida, and the official North America racing team of Parolin Racing Chassis. Chassis and parts available at ParolinUSA.com.
I'm Billy Vincent, owner of MPG Motorsports. What we do at MPG is we try to keep it a nice, fun, family atmosphere, try to combine sort of the bigger things and of the bigger teams and the professionalism down with sort of some of the fun, sort of family-oriented atmosphere. We try to not only develop drivers, but also the parents and the families for just in knowledge in general in motorsports. It all starts in karting. What we try to do is try to help the drivers, the moms, the dads understand the sport of motorsports in general, not just karting, but what it takes to get all the way up through. Whether you end up wanting to be a driver or a mechanic or an engineer, we can help you with that, and that's what we're here for. If you're interested in joining us at MPG, our home base is at Whiteland Raceway Park in Indianapolis, and you can contact us at info@willpowerkart.com, and one of our great people will reach out to you, and we'll try to put the best program together.
Check, check, check. That's still pretty hot. You can turn that, yeah, turn it down. So, folks, we're getting set to go here, just getting the mic dialed in. We're ready to go for the podium for our first round of this year's SuperKarts USA Winter Series. Of course, we'll get started here with the Micro Swift category. Finishing in third spot today in the Micro Swift class, Benja Fernandez. Finishing in third for Trinity Karting Group. Benja, are you here? There he is. Come on in here, grab your trophy, jump up P3 over here. Coming home second place today in Micro Swift is Ashton Woon. Stop, Ashton. Again, looking forward to another big day of racing tomorrow. No red flags today at all. Well done for all our drivers. One more spot here in the podium for Micro Swift. The winner today, number 17, Alessandro Truscio. Still have a couple of classes that are not cleared yet. The Masters and Senior class is not cleared, so hopefully they'll be done by the time we wrap up here. But again, here's our Micro Swift drivers and their podium presentation. Great job for the drivers here today. They put on a pretty good show out there, and to kick things off, obviously tough conditions throughout the morning as well. But Alessandro Truscio with the win over Ashton Woon and Benja Fernandez. Great job, guys. Thank you very much. See you back here tomorrow. Have another fun day of racing. Well done. We'll move into the KA 100 Junior category, brought to you by Team Bennett. Trinity Karting Group is the sponsor of our Micro Swift class. Finishing in third spot today in KA 100 Junior, Valentino Garbarino. Coming home today in second, number 803, Austin Jers. And the race winner by 2.8 seconds, Caleb Gaffera. KA 100 Junior having a great battle out there. A couple of drivers scrapping up front. We had some good racing further back inside the top five as well, but all three of these drivers doing a tremendous job to work their way onto the podium here. Looking for, of course, more of the same tomorrow. Caleb Gaffera coming home with the win. I think we got it, guys. Thank you very much. Nicely done. We'll follow KA 100 Junior with KA 100 Senior. These guys put on a show for sure. What a wild one this one was. AM Engines, the sponsor of the category. Driver coming home in third, number 979, Aiden Rudolph. Third spot in his senior debut in KA 100. Finishing in second, number 998, Nicholas Terlecki. And running his first Winter Series as a senior driver, the winner in KA 100, Carson Morgan. Wild final laps in the KA 100 senior category. Some craziness over in 4 and 5. A lot of really quick drivers in this category. We expect more of the same tomorrow. Some great racing. Looking forward to these drivers going at it again in KA 100 senior. Carson Morgan with the win, Nicholas Terlecki second, and Aiden Rudolph in third. We'll move now to the Mini Swift class presented by DNJ Intermodal Services. Coming home in third spot, number 197, Luis Umana. Forest Lawn Racing, nice job, Luis. And finishing in second spot on the CRG, Carson Weinberg. And the top of the box, the win today by 2.4 seconds, Oliver Weldon. Oliver Weldon with the win. Weinberg with fast lap of the race and en route to P2. Nice job, guys. Oliver, congratulations on a big win. Great job. We'll go Pro Shifter, then we'll go Master Shifter. Finishing in third spot in the Pro Shifter category, Alan Isambard. Here comes Alan. Coming home in second spot, Slavik Putsiatsin. Slavik, well done. Driver getting the race win, though. Billy Musgrave with the win today in Pro Shifter on the factory cart. Pro Shifter drivers wrapping things up here. First round of the Winter Tour this year. Good job for Billy Musgrave. Good to have Putsiatsin here as well, and Alan Isambard for international racing. We'll go to the Masters category. Finishing in third spot today, number 602, Skitchy Barnes. Skitchy Barnes, P3. Finishing in second, number 628, Johnston Irwin. HMD buddies. High-fiving each other. That's right. And the win today, Ken Schilling with the victory in the Master Shifter class. Again, waiting for a couple of classes to clear. I think 623 is the earliest we can clear the X30 Senior class based on the time limit. So 623, hopefully we'll get a result there. Good job for our Masters drivers. We can move down to the X30 Junior class. Brought to you by Speed Lab Racing Engines. Finishing in third, number 702, Max Garcia. What a wild finish this one was. Max Garcia coming home P3. Finishing in second spot, Mateus Orjuela. And the final spot on the podium, the winner today, Sebastian Weldon. Sebastian Weldon getting the win there. A last lap battle, last corner battle, as we know, as Max Garcia ended up going off the racetrack with Aiden Ingrata, and a nice over-under for Weldon staying out of trouble. Comes out with the race win. Fast lap of the race for, I think it was Sebastian got a fast lap. Indeed he did. So folks, we're on a quick little hold here right now. Let me confirm that the Masters is cleared. We'll see where we are with X30 Senior. Finishing in second, Danilo Ramalho. And capping off the X30 Senior Masters class to win today, Michelle Garrido. Great job for Michelle Garrido today, getting out front and being able to manage that race and score the big win. Ramalho and Barrios, the other two drivers on the podium here, and again, doing it all again tomorrow, live on Kart Chaser and the EKN Radio Network. So again, folks, we are on hold for X30 Senior, 6:23, I believe, scheduled lock time. We had to get that amount of time, that half-hour break. So if you want to take some shots here in the podium for about 5 minutes, you can do that. You can use the podium. We'll be back at 6:23, ideally to have X30 Senior to cap off the podium presentations. All right, folks, we're ready to go here. Finally getting past the 6:23 time. I went in and confirmed it. We're set to go to cap things off here for senior right now. Top 3 drivers, let's bring them onto the podium. Finishing 3rd place today, number 301, Hannah Greenmeyer. Hannah taking 3rd spot. Finishing in 2nd, number 362, Mateus Morgato. Need some more light here. Mateus Morgato, excellent job. P2. And the driver with the win, number 305, Eduardo Villa. A little trouble on the tech dam. We had some great racing out there, though. What a tremendous day of competition it was in our X30 Senior category. A lot of fun to watch. Eduardo Villa with the win. Mateus Morgato 2nd. Hannah Greenmeyer rounding out the top 3 on the podium today. Let's get those trophies up in the air, please, guys. Trophies up. Racers, let's do this. Hannah's the only one that listens. Not surprising. Men. Their suits are too tight. They can't get it up in the air. Well, there you go, folks. Wrapping things up for our podium. We, of course, apologize for being it so late, but, we got started about an hour late, a little more over an hour late. Hopefully, things will be better tomorrow. Thankfully, that rain stayed off through the second half of the day. Kudos to all the teams that were able to fight through what were very unreal conditions here in the paddock and on the track earlier today. But again, that caps things off here from the track to finish up the opening round of this year's Winter Series. Looking forward to seeing everybody back here tomorrow morning. Hope for a more regular day. Have a great evening. Be safe. We'll see you back here trackside in the morning.